Sadakta, mtazamaji, historia inazidi kuandikwa, inazidi kusajiliwa, inazidi kunakiliwa. Hii leo Kenya ikiwa imeshuhudia idadi kubwa zaidi ya Wakenya kujitokeza kushiriki zoezi la ushirikishaji wa umma katika masuala ya kikatiba. Tuna taarifa nyingi ambazo tumekuandalia Ijumaa hii teule kwenye taarifa za NTV Weekend. Kaa kitako kama kawaida, tunaanza na vipasho.
Mimi nataka kumtangaza Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. Nataka kusema ya kwamba ingekuwa ni Olympics ya ufisadi angepata gold medal.
Shughuli ya kuhusisha umma kuhusu kumbandua Gachagua yapelekwa hadi Jumamosi, mahakama ikitaka ifanywe katika maeneo bunge yote.
Nyinyi wa bunge, nyinyi mko hapo bunge, mnapata muda wa kukaa chini kujadilia kwa mwanaume badala mjadilie sisi wa Kenya ambao tunaumia.
Wananchi wawageukia wabunge wanaotaka kumbandua naibu rais. Mwanaharakati Morara Kebaso ajeruhiwa kwenye purukushani za Bomas, wahuni wakimzuia kushiriki zoezi la umma kuhusu hatma ya Gachagua. Na baada ya kaunti ya Nandi, EACC imefichua kesi zingine 350 za kufyonza pesa kupitia mishahara haramu katika kaunti.
Hii ni NTV Weekendi na Lofty Matambo.
Rigathi Gachagua.
Hii serikali tulitafuta na shida mingi sana. Hatuwezi kubali mtu haribu.
Kenyans will be shocked.
Hiyo ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona. Hapo iko kibarua.
291 members of this National Assembly pended their signatures.
Bamba megonga saa 1 kamili Afrika Mashariki. Zungumza nami mtandaoni @Lofty Matambo @NTV Kenya. Alama ya reli ni hatma ya Gachagua. Niko na Flora Teno kwenye chumba cha ishara. Twende kazi. Wakenya ambao leo hawakupata fursa ya kutoa maoni yao kuhusu kubanduliwa kwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua watakuwa na fursa nyingine ya kutoa maoni yao hapo kesho. Hii ni baada ya bunge la kitaifa leo mchana kutangaza kwamba limeongeza kipindi cha kukusanya maoni hayo kwa siku moja zaidi, mahakama ikisisitiza kwamba maoni hayo yachukuliwe katika maeneo yote bunge 290 na sio kwenye kaunti pekee kama ilivyoshuhudiwa hii leo. Mwanahabari wetu David Mudhoka anaangazia zoezi hilo la kihistoria na jinsi Wakenya walijitokeza kwa wingi.
Wakenya watakuwa na usemi kwenye hatma ya kisiasa ya naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua kwa siku moja zaidi. Hii ni baada ya karani wa bunge la kitaifa Samuel Njoroge leo mchana kutangaza kuwa zoezi la kukusanya maoni kuhusu ilani ya kumtimua Gachagua litakamilika kesho. Mchakato huo wa kesho utafanyika katika maeneo bunge yote 290 tofauti na leo ambapo ulifanyika katika eneo moja tu katika kila kaunti. Bunge limefanya uamuzi huu saa chache baada ya mahakama ya Kerugoya kuamuru kwenye kesi iliyokuwa imewasilishwa na mwakilishi wa kike wa Kirinyaga Njeri Maina kuwa shughuli hiyo ifanywe katika kila eneo bunge na sio kwenye kaunti tu kama leo. Uamuzi wa mahakama na hatua ya bunge sasa zimewapa Wakenya ambao hawakuwasilisha maoni yao leo fursa nyingine ya kuchangia katika hoja ya kubanduliwa kwa Gachagua kutoka ofisini. Wakenya wengi waliotoa maoni yao kwenye karatasi leo katika kaunti ya Machakos walimtetea Gachagua wakisema hafai kuguzwa.
This is the time we are coming together as Kenyans. We are going to stand with Gachagua. And if Gachagua has to go home, let the whole president go home.
MPs wale mnasema ati mnatoa Gachagua. Tunaongojea ground sana. Tunaongojea sana. Hata sura yenu ingekuwekwa hapa, nyote mngeenda nyumbani. We are saying Gachagua must stay.
Hata hivyo, viongozi wao wakiwemo wabunge pamoja na waziri wa Leba Alfred Mutua ambaye aliwahi kuwa gavana wa kaunti hiyo walitofautiana na wakazi.
Rigathi Gachagua aende akiendanga. Na Rigathi Gachagua ajue ya kwamba tutamng'oa chap chap. Aende akifanya nini?
Licha ya tofauti na hisia mseto, tukio hili ni la kihistoria kwa kuvutia halaiki ya washiriki. Ni mara ya kwanza tangu katiba ya mwaka 2010 ilipopitishwa kumekuwa na mchakato wa kumwondoa naibu rais ofisini. Ni mara ya kwanza pia Wakenya wamehusishwa katika mchakato huo, na hapa Machakos kama unavyoona walijitokeza kwa wingi kushiriki katika kutoa maoni kuhusiana na mpango wa kumwondoa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua ofisini. David Muthoka, NTV, kutoka kaunti ya Machakos.
Na asante sana David kwa taarifa hiyo. Tukisonga mbele ni kwamba shughuli ya kupokea maoni kuhusu hoja kumbandua naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua madarakani katika ukumbi wa Bomas nusura itibuke. Mwanaharakati Kibaso Morara alifurushwa kwa fujo huku vijana wa makundi pinzani wakizomeana na kukabiliana vikali. Mwanahabari wetu wa masuala ya siasa Vincent Odor alishuhudia viti vikipepea angani katika ukumbi wa Bomas. Anaarifu zaidi.
Order! Everyone has an opinion. Order! Piga! Wacheni kupigana! Order! Marara!
Kulikuwa kumechacha katika ukumbi wa Bomas jijini Nairobi, ambapo wenyeji wa Nairobi kutoka maeneo bunge 17 walikuwa wakitoa maoni yao kuhusiana na hoja kutaka kumbandua naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua afisini. Lakini mambo yaliharibika pale mwanaharakati Kibaso Morara na wenzake walipowasili ukumbini na kudai kutaka kufika jukwani mara moja kuzungumza kinyume na mpangilio uliokuwepo. Harakati zake za kutumia mlango wa dharura kukimbia nje kuokoa maisha yake zilitibuka, kwani ulikuwa umefungwa kabla ya mwishowe kuokolewa. Lakini haya hayakuzuia waliofika kutoa maoni yao.
Hatuwezi kuwa na president, deputy president mwenye anaangalia watu wake peke yake. We need somebody who cares for everybody.
Respect for the president is paramount. Our collective and unanimous decision is to ensure we have a country that functions.
Mimi nasema kama ni kuenda #fagia yote.
Japo wenyeji wengi waliruhusiwa ukumbini, wengine wengi pia walizuiliwa nje.
Wanachosubiri sasa ni kuona iwapo bunge litaheshimu na kuzingatia maoni yao jinsi inavyohitajika kisheria, au iwapo ilikuwa ni shughuli ya kuwapumbaza. Vincent Odur, NTV, Nairobi.
Sadakta Vincent. Tusalie kwenye pumzi hiyo, na ni kwamba shughuli hiyo ya kukusanya maoni katika baadhi ya sehemu nchini iligeuka kuwa mwito wa Rais William Ruto pia aondoke madarakani. Baadhi ya Wakenya walionekana kukerwa na msukumo huo wa kumng'atua Gachagua kitini, wakiwa na semi za kejeli kama vile kufa dereva, kufa makanga, wakiashiria kwamba rais na naibu wake wote wanafaa kuondoka na uchaguzi ufanywe upya. Kevin Mutai ana maelezo zaidi.
Vikao vilivyoandaliwa nchini vya kuwahusisha Wakenya kwenye mchakato kuhusu hoja ya kumbandua makamu rais Rigathi Gachagua vilizua hisia mseto, hasa kutoka kwa baadhi ya Wakenya waliopinga hoja hiyo. Kuna waliomtetea Gachagua kutoka Baringo, Kiambu na hata Mombasa, wakisema ni makosa kumshurutisha, huku wakimtaka pia Rais William Ruto kung'atuliwa.
Viazi moja ikioza yote naosa.
If Ruto feels that Gachagua is not good, I think the best thing that they should do is to resign and call for a snap election.
Baadhi ya Wakenya wanasema hawana imani tena na serikali ya Kenya Kwanza, wakiwashtumu wabunge wenye kusukuma hoja hiyo, wakisema ni njama ya kuwasahaulisha Wakenya kuhusu masuala yenye utata kama vile mpango wa serikali na adani kuhusu uwanja wa JKIA, mfumo mpya wa malipo ya karo vyuo vikuu na hata bima mpya ya afya SHA, miongoni mwa mengine.
Kuna maneno kutoka kwa SHA, hatunaenda SHA ukiactivate unaambiwa umekuwa successful lakini upati dawa.
Na NSIS tunapenda kuwaambia kama nyinyi ni wa kweli, toeni ya kila moja, kila kiongozi, hata ya rais ile ambayo mko nayo, toeni nje ndio Wakenya wajue.
Ingawaje msukumo huo wa kumtaka Rais William Ruto pia ondoke mamlakani hauko kwenye hoja hiyo, hisia zao zinaashiria ghadhabu dhidi ya wote wanaunga mkono njama ya kumuondoa Gachagua mamlakani, huku wakitishia kulipiza kisasi katika uchaguzi wa mwaka 2027.
Na watu wa Githunguri wameandika na wamesema hawataki Rigathi Gachagua atolewe.
Hii ni shida ya kujiletea. Huu ni mwimba wa kujidunga.
We are watching you. We were watching you. Na tuambia 2027 hakuna memba wa Gema atakupigia kura.
Kadhalika, kuna wenye walitoa wito kwa Rais Ruto kuingilia kati na kusuluhisha tofauti zake na naibu wake kwa ajili ya kuleta amani nchini. Kevin Mutai, NTV, katika kaunti Mombasa.
Wanasema walioambiwa msiguse mlima hamkusikia. Ndo hayo sasa. Tuendelee mtazamaji, ni kwamba shughuli ya ushirikishaji wa umma kuhusu hoja kumtimua naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua mamlakani ilitatizika katika maeneo mengi nchini. Baadhi ya wakazi walisusia kushiriki wakidai kwamba baadhi ya stakabadhi za kupigia kura zilikuwa gushi, huku wengine wakiibua madai ya mlungula kutamba. Margaret Kimathi ana taarifa hiyo kutoka kaunti mbalimbali nchini.
Wakazi wa Nyeri walijitokeza barabarani kwa wingi kulalamikia hoja ya kutimuliwa kwa Gachagua. Waandamanaji waliziba barabara kuu ya Nyeri kuelekea Nanyuki na kuwasha moto na kusababisha shughuli za kila siku kusimama. Wakazi hao walidai kuwa baadhi ya viongozi walikuwa wakiwapa hongo ya shilingi 500 ili kupata uungwaji mkono wa hoja ya kuondolewa kwa naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua.
Huko walikuwa wanaongea na wafuasi wao wakifanya handout, yani wakiwapea pesa kidogo kidogo ndio wakunje wa support pande yao ile ya kuangusha Rigathi Gachagua.
And the template from National Assembly is not serialized. How authentic is the whole process, the entire nation?
Idadi ndogo ya watu waliojitokeza kwenye shughuli ya ushiriki wa umma ilishuhudiwa katika kaunti za Meru, Siaya na Kisii. Wakazi walitoa hisia tofauti kulingana na swala la kumtimua naibu Rigathi Gachagua. Katika kaunti ya Uasin Gishu, mjadala na mazungumzo yaliyotarajiwa kufanyika katika ukumbi wa kaunti hiyo haukuweza kuwafikia. Hii ni baada ya tisho la vurugu kutoka kwa makundi yaliyotofautiana kimaoni.
Hii maneno ya impeachment haijanifurahisha kabisa. Tulichakua Gachagua na Ruto watufanyie kazi.
Gachagua hawezi toka. Nataka ni wanu wenye wanasema Gachagua anatoka, niwaambie sorry. Mlima haiwezi guswa.
Katika kaunti ya Nakuru, shughuli hiyo ilitatizika baada ya kundi la watu kuelekea katika eneo la SK Showground wakidai kwamba baadhi ya stakabadhi zilikuwa gushi. Baadaye kundi hilo lilijitokeza barabarani kuandamana wakipinga hoja ya kumng'atua Gachagua. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
Wanasema nasi alikuwa amewawarn. Tukiendelea mtazamaji, ni kwamba filamu ya Mlima inakaribia kilele. Hii leo watazamaji wamegeuka kuwa waigizaji umma. Ndimi za usiguse Mlima, Mlima umejigusa, Mlima ni wetu zikitawala juma zima hadi leo. Mwanahabari wetu Ahmed Abdalla ameutafiti Mlima huo na sasa natuletea vimbwanga vya Mlima na shughuli za ushirikishaji wa umma siku ya leo.
Alafu mwezi kuendesha. Ebu DJ tupe ile ya Mlima. Hakuna mtu ameniguza. Ama mimi ndio Mlima. Inaitwa filamu ya Mlima. Rigi G anajiita jeshi, yani mtu asiguse Mlima.
Sasa hii ni kuchukua bunduki na kwenda kazi. Na utatupigana hapa, utaona vile mimi nitafika watu. Mimi niko experienced.
Atoli pia ni muoga. Au tumwachie Mlima tuone kama anauogopa.
Shanzi sana.
Kasongo mbona wewe? Rigi G, unakumbuka ile siku ukiapishwa?
I Rigathi Gachagua.
Usijali, Murima hautoguswa. Ile mitego ukaiweka Ikulu itasaidia sana.
Hiyo Ikulu nimeweka mitego kila kona, kila. Wakionekana tu karibu naambiwa.
Jina langu naitwa Hemed Abdallah, NTV. Ila mwenzangu anafunga vimbwanga vya Murima.
Siwezi kusema mengi. Thank you very much.
Tuchukue pumziko fupi kidogo, tunarudi na mengi mtazamaji. Vimbwanga vya Hemedi kila Ijumaa hutavikosa, lakini kuna mengi ambayo yamesalia kwenye upande wa pili yajayo. Za wizi wa pesa wa umma kupitia mishahara gushi katika kaunti.
Introducing Festive Cakes.
We have some delightful snacks for all of you.
The Festive Yamela Cake. Indulge in the pleasure of a cone-shaped cake that's bursting with flavors.
Where did you come from? Hamlet. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Festive cupcakes.
Thank you.
Perfect treat to share with friends and family.
Now for your kids' school snacks, hakuna stress.
Festive pink cakes. The perfect blend of sweetness and softness.
And now this is for you, Dad, and your office mate.
Festive pound cake. This sumptuous cake will leave you craving for more. Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka.
Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways. And Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Karibu tena mtazamaji, fahari yangu unaendelea kutazama taarifa za NTV Weekendi. Na siku moja baada ya tume ya maadili na kupambana na ufisadi nchini kuzivamia afisi za kaunti ya Nandi kwa madai ya wizi wa pesa za umma kupitia mishahara, EACC imefichua visa vingine 352 kama hivyo katika kaunti mbalimbali. Kama sehemu ya uchunguzi huo, EACC imenasa nyaraka za ushahidi mwingine muhimu unaohusishwa na madai ya mpango wa ubadhirifu kufuatia uvamizi uliofanywa siku ya Alhamisi. Kaunti ya Nandi ilikosa kutii agizo la tume ya kutoa rekodi zilizoombwa kufikia Jumatatu Septemba 30 kwa afisi zake za eneo la North Rift mjini Eldoret. Msemaji wa EACC Eric Ngumbi amesema uchunguzi utakapokamilika basi itachukua hatua sahihi ambazo ni pamoja na kuwafikisha mahakamani wale waliobainika kuwa na hatia ya kurejesha fedha za umma zilizofujwa.
Are supposed to ensure that the executive and the board do their work within the law. Instead of doing oversight over this employment to tame such malpractices, it is the MCAs who are demanding or soliciting jobs for their relatives, family members, tenders, contracts. Such a person who is so conflicted cannot effectively exercise the oversight that is required to tame this challenge.
Na muungano wa maafisa wa kliniki nchini ukipenda KUKO umetoa ilani ya siku 14 kufanya mgomo kutokana na kile wanachodai kwamba ni serikali kukosa kushughulikia matakwa ya maafisa wenye njani kwa wakati unaofaa na kukosa kuwajumuisha katika bima mpya ya SHIF. Kulingana na katibu mkuu wa muungano huo George Kibore, serikali imetenga imetangaza baadhi ya vituo vya afya kunufaika na mfumo mpya wa bima ya afya ya kijamii ukipenda SHIF, huku ukitilia shaka namna serikali inavyoharakisha utekelezwaji wa bima hiyo bila kushirikisha washikadau wa afya pasavyo kama vile umma. Muungano huo umeitaka serikali kutoa nafasi kwa maafisa wa afya nyanjani kupata bima hiyo muhimu kisheria.
Wale viongozi wa Social Health Authority ambao wameweza kuamua kwamba maafisa tabibu pamoja na facility zile zote wanamiliki hawatawekwa katika ile system ya SHA mpaka wao wamekuwa registered na KMPDC. Kwa siku 14 zinazokuja tunaenda kuita mgomo wa kitaifa kufuatana na masuala haya, kuandamana kwa ajili ya shirika hili la afya, la bima la afya ambayo ni mpya inaitwa Social Health Authority kuweza kutekeleza wajibu wao kwa mujibu wa sheria iliyopo.
Na kwengineko, mtazamaji, ni kwamba baraza la magavana nchini linaitaka Wizara ya Fedha kuanzisha kurugenzi mahususi kwa ugatuzi ili kupunguza urasimu wa maafisa wa wizara ambao wanajishughulisha na ngazi za serikali kuu zaidi na kupunguza mahitaji ya kaunti. Naibu mwenyekiti wa baraza hilo ambaye pia ni gavana wa Wajir Ahmed Abdullahi alimtaka Waziri John Mbadi kuchukulia suala hilo kwa uzito na dharura kubwa. Mbadi amesema serikali imo mbioni kuhakikisha kwamba mchakato wa kufikisha fedha katika kaunti unafanikishwa.
One of the legacies you can leave us a treasury is to actually create a directorate for devolution or a directorate for dealing with county finance matters. Because financing counties is one of the biggest responsibilities that the National Treasury has.
On disbursement of funds, I want to be very categorical. I have committed myself that we will make sure that funds are transferred to the counties at the right time. This is because the moment counties don't receive money, it is costly to the country, because you are borrowing money from commercial banks at inordinately high interest rates.
Na mtazamaji, hao ya kijiri ni kwamba Wakenya pia wako na yao mengi, na namuona Kenneth Hezron anasema yeye rais pia aende lofti. Paul Kibet anasema vimbwanga na Hemed vinaweza sana, tunafurahia vikija kila Ijumaa itakuwa bora zaidi. Njeri wa Nyamiti anasema kama ni mbaya basi imeanza kuwa mbaya kutoka kichwani, tufagie wote kutoka juu, hakuna mzuri hapo lofti. Alafu wa mwisho kumsoma hapa anajulikana kama Melkizedek Keyo anasema itachukua muda sana kufagia utawala wote, lakini kama tutaleta ukabila na kumwekelea Rigiji basi mambo hayatabadilika, ni tufagie mfumo mzima. Endelea kusema nasi zaidi maoni yako kuhusiana na mchakato mzima wa kuhusisha umma kumbandua naibu rais Rigathi Gachagua. Pumziko fupi, nikirudi tutaingia michezoni. Vada lugha.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
5 questions with Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
My Club, My Club, My Club! It's day 2 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards! It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu!
Family Bank proudly introduces Queen Banking for modern working class women.
The beauty with Queen Banking is that I can balance both family and work all in one place.
right?
For the women who paved the way and conquered it all.
I have trusted Family Bank with my finances for years. Now, they've given me Queen Banking, tailored to my needs.
And for the queens who've built legacies that span generations.
Family Bank understands my needs to secure the future of my family. With the Queen's Banking, I know I'm leaving a lasting legacy.
Where dreams take flight and aspirations know no bound. Join us at Family Bank and let your financial journey reign supreme. Now, introducing Queen Banking by Family Bank. Walking with women for life.
Mwelekezi wangu Jackson anayaita mabolingo, ni ishara kwamba tunaingia kwenye michezo. Na kikosi cha taifa cha kandanda cha wachezaji wanawake chipukizi cha Junior Starlets kitachuana na Jamhuri ya Dominican tarehe 8 mwezi huu katika mechi ya kujipima nguvu. Kikosi hicho kiko nchini Dominican kwa kombe la dunia la wachezaji chini ya umri wa miaka 17 na kitang'oa nanga kipute hicho tarehe 16 mwezi huu. Kenya itachuana na England katika mechi yake ya kwanza tarehe 18 Ijumaa kabla ya kujitosa uwanjani dhidi ya Jamhuri ya Korea siku mbili baadaye. Wanadada wa nyumbani ambao waliandikisha historia watachuana na Mexico katika mechi yao ya mwisho ya makundi tarehe 24 mwezi huu wa 10. Mshindi wa mbio za nyika za Sirikwa Immaculate Anyango amepigwa marufuku ya muda ya kushiriki riadha duniani, ukipenda World Athletics. Tangazo hilo lilitolewa leo na tawi ambalo linajihusisha na swala la wanariadha wanaotumia dawa za kutitimua misuli AIU kupitia ujumbe kwa mtandao wao wa X. Inasemekana kwamba Anyango ambaye alishindia Kenya nishani ya fedha katika mashindano ya wanariadha chipukizi barani Afrika mwaka 2019 alikuwa ametumia dawa hizo za mku zinazojulikana kama ipo na testosterone. Tuendelee sio. Kikosi cha taifa cha Nairobi Polo kitakachomenyana na kikosi kutoka klabu ya Nigeria ya Lagos kimetajwa kabla ya michuano hiyo hapo kesho katika klabu ya Nairobi Polo jijini Nairobi. Julian Kam, Jadin Nzomo, Mbu Ngugi na Philip Arugua wako katika kikosi cha Nairobi AH ambacho kitachuana na Lagos AH. Mchezaji Isa Kwame, Aba Dantata na Musadik Talie na Funsho George wamejumuika katika kikosi hicho. Katika kikosi cha pili kiko na Omwake Arugua ambaye atajiunga na Jamie Excel, Simon Muchene na mwenzake Joe Kamau, ambao ni wachezaji hao wanne watachuana na Aba Dantata, Musadik Talie na Funsho George. Mechi hiyo imeratibiwa kuchezwa hapo kesho mchana mwendo wa saa 8:30. Manchester. Haya, mtazamaji, masaibu ya Manchester United yaliongezeka hapo jana usiku baada ya kutoka sare ya mabao 3-3 na FC Porto katika ligi ya bara Europa. Mchezaji wa akiba Harry Maguire alisawazishia Manchester United katika muda wa ziada.
The gateways to progress, the ones that hold ideas, and those that close deals. Let's take those to places where there are none. Let's open big doors that harbor progress. In all the places that we are,
KCB ni yangu.
KCB ni yetu.
KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
Is Dove better than ordinary soap? We're going to prove it. Take a bar of your soap and Dove. Use yours on one side, Dove on the other. The soap part feels rough. The Dove side is softer, smoother, and more radiant. With 1/4 moisturizing cream, Dove deeply nourishes for radiant skin all over. Try Dove and feel the difference.
Sikia, ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu Ayaya, kituka na shika. Yum, na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy juu ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro. Hebu kama taka juicy juu ni
NTV, turning on your world. The following program has been rated PG. It may contain scenes unsuitable for children under the age of 10.
Welcome back to the Weekend Edition. I'm Dr. Kingori. Thank you for joining us for this episode. Mazee leo, guest wetu ni, my description yake ni James Bond, or atatu prove right or wrong. Tunataka kufanya episode ya forensic investigation, forensic science, and our guest has been a private investigator before. Tunataka kujua the scope yenye ameenda, but it's a very interesting topic. You already know. Mafans wote wa detective series mnajua mahali story inatoka. Jabez Hosea is in the house. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you for having me.
Karibu. Ni Jabez ama ni Jabez?
Jabez.
Jabez has been an active private investigator, but now he works on a capacity, a director na consultancy services, but anajiuzo stories zote. That's why we have him on the show. Now, we had a side conversation, na I think I'm happy to bring it back tena. Story ya hii kutap simu na nini. Would you know when someone anasikiza conversation yako kwa simu?
Initially, you won't be able to detect it.
Yes.
However, eventually, as the bug that has been planted in your phone continues to consume your memory, your phone is likely to begin behaving in erratic manner. Secondly, most bugs are meant to relay back information.
Yes.
Sometimes they rely on your own airtime to do the same, or your access to a Wi-Fi. Now, sometimes when you're off those kind of channels over, for example, a period of 24 hours, they begin to try to ping, and you'll find notifications of, no, sorry, the server error, it cannot link back to the mother prompter.
Sometimes it uses your airtime.
Yes, sometimes it
does.
does.
Explain why manzi yangu ananga credit.
Anasema ameweka. No, I don't think she's tracked, first of all, but also the other reasons why your credit will be running out. However, from an investigation point of view, or a surveillance point of view, yes, the bugs that have to report back are always detected because of those circumstances, erratic behavior. Because, you know, they are just actually programs that run on your system.
Someone has to get hold of your phone and install them.
No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is they have to be in your phone. I can email you with a picture that you need to download. I can send you a quick something that you'll need to download on your phone.
At a WhatsApp video?
No, WhatsApp is a little bit different, because once you upload something on WhatsApp tends to restructure it. Even the metadata on a video on WhatsApp tends to just get lost.
That's what they mean by end-to-end encryption?
End-to-end encryption means it cannot be intercepted in between.
Okay.
If I was to intercept anything on your SAP, it has to be on your phone.
Yes, yes.
Or on the sender's phone, not in between. Like, and I can intercept your communication in between. I can be listening to your phone calls in between. So it means it's not encrypted. You know, on transit, can't be intercepted on WhatsApp.
So the law of evidence, even if you listen to a conversation and you know all my secrets, you still cannot use it unless authorized, right?
Yes, that's what should be happening.
Na what's the market like for private investigators in Kenya? Najua hapo kwa cheating couples zimeshika sana.
We understand that and we really commend our other players in the market who thrive in that section, yeah? Because, you know, there could be a man somewhere whose, you know, woman is stepping out on him and he'd never know.
And the vice versa? Yes.
The vice versa, okay, the vice versa could also be true, but by the time...
It's women who, no, it's men who employ private investigators more to catch women.
I think when a woman employs a private investigator, she already knows. She's just looking for a second opinion. Men is like very green. They don't know, maybe just somebody mentioned it and they're like, you know.
What's the most unique case you have ever investigated?
The one that has always stood out for me, without saying very specific things, is one that we had to lift a very minute piece of fingerprint from the buckle of a belt of somebody who had been offended in one way.
From the back of a belt?
The buckle, you know that car.
Oh, yes, yes, for the buckle, from the buckle.
Yes.
A fingerprint.
Yes. And it's one thing that everybody had missed out, and we were able to get that.
Ah.
Yes.
And you got the person you were looking for?
No, we passed it over to relevant persons to look into it.
Are there moments where forensic evidence has misled an inquiry?
I think so, but not forensic evidence, human error in analysis of forensic evidence. For example, DNA is analyzed in two fashions, yeah? There is something called STR and RFPL. Now, one is very isolative. It will isolate you and your brother. But one is likely to cluster close relatives together.
Okay. And what do you say to someone who would want to study forensic science?
They really need to have the science at heart. They really need to be okay with the very gruesome, you know, scenes, and they really need to be very quick in their thinking when it comes to the application of that science.
Okay. So in your career, ukisema gruesome, umeona mavitu zenye zinaweza fanya mtu akose kulala?
Yeah, quite a number.
For real?
Yes.
Unaongezanga na
I don't.
Hai.
Hapana.
Hata ya kulala usingizi?
At all.
How do you train your mind to be ndio usiote vibaya?
For most, it's conditioning. For example, let me give you a short. When we joined our campus, I think our year we were about 60-something students who began the course. No, it's a big number.
60?
60, I think 61.
Out of 10,000, 40,000 students who are in KU every year?
Yes, 60 began. However, at the end of second year, I think we were 20 at best. I think 20 or half that number.
Ah.
Yeah, because
wengine waliingia BCom.
You go and you see an actual dead body without skin. Now you know how ugly the human body is without the skin.
Without clothes.
Yes, even without clothes, but that at least you're used to. Without the skin, so that you're only seeing the internal structures of that body.
They do that?
That is what you have to learn on.
If you remember yourself before joining school to do forensic science, and after that, what do you think changed in the person that you are? In terms of view on life, in terms of...
my sense of divinity just went a little bit down.
Divinity?
How divine, yes. Kind of went, you know, towards the south. Because with that you realize, number one, I know this will disappoint my mom if she ever heard it. The Bible says one rib was taken out of you and given to your better half. Yes. And you know, some people believe it literally. Yeah?
Yes.
If the first thing you go and see a cadaver, In fact, when I got to the first examination of a cadaver, I counted the ribs, and I was told, no, that is a myth.
Your sense of divinity went down, as in you started believing in God 20%.
I started believing in God 20% less.
20% less?
Yes. If I was at 120, 120%, I would now came back to 100%.
When you mukora, then what do you believe in as a scientist?
No, it's not to say that I don't believe in God. However, I just think that the manner in which you believe changes.
So umesema hapana.
Not at all.
So how do you maintain your sanity? Like wewe uko sawa? Because of course you've seen things that would, I would say paranormal, like things that are not for the ordinary, right? So what do you do ndio wewe uko conform?
Now, one of the major things that any person that has worked for my organization, Somo Group, what they've always done is debrief. It's one of the things that they have to do.
Wow.
To debrief, yes, because we do not completely detach from the things we do. You might do this job for a while and you love to do it. If we take you to another thing to do, you still feel the sensation of this work you do. So it's the same thing. And some of the things, again, we do are very personal to other people. And by that extension, you get the vicarious trauma on you. So you have to find a way to debrief. If you're a sports person, you have to do it. You've got to talk to our in-house counsel, our in-house counselor, who just tries to get you to rationalize some of the things you encounter in the course of either doing your forensic work or your investigations work.
So debrief ni go sitting with someone. Mimi naongea from a Jack Bauer perspective. Unaenda unakaa, umetoka crime scene, unaenda unaongeleshwa, unafanya si kusomewa, right?
Yes. No, sio kusomewa. What happens, for example, let's move a little bit slightly to just investigation.
Yes.
When you're hired to do corporate investigation, for example, integrity check, and we come here and we have our investigators planted within your system, and you've been working with these people for like 3 months, collecting how they've been defrauding this organization. You even became friends maybe. But at the end of it all, the report has to reflect what happened. You feel so bad you betrayed some of the people. While they were doing the wrong thing, yes, but you feel I've betrayed them one way or another. Now, how do you deal with that feeling?
You've been planted somewhere. You become friends with a target. Can we call them a target?
It's all right.
You investigate them, you become friends, and you make your target pregnant. How debrief from that?
You have to rationalize your action. Sometimes you can even choose to betray the organization. We'd send you, and then you'd choose, look, I choose to not report anymore. For reasons based on...
You are a husband now.
Yes, you say, I'm too conflicted to continue reporting.
If you don't debrief, what happens? For example, in a case where you've seen something graphic, unaendelea na job, what's the worst case scenario?
You break down, and you break down bad.
Nilipenda sana website yenu, Somo. Ili nibamba sana. Very good work hapo. My greatest take home, first of all, asante sana kwa kuja show yetu ya leo. Thank you very much. My greatest take home is husbands hire private investigators to catch cheating wife because they have no idea. Women hire private investigators just to confirm.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
Makofi to both baby and the new Morphix diapers. With its cottony soft texture and 3 times faster absorbent channels, The new Morphix diapers help to prevent rush. Morphix, comfy like a mom's hug.
My club, my club, my club! It's day 2 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards! It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu!
From Wednesday 2nd to Sunday 6th October 2024, the Ministry of Health will conduct a polio vaccination campaign in high-risk counties, namely Busia, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot and Turkana, which will target children under 10 years. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF and other partners.
Nataka uimagine mafuta ya kupika imeisha. Halafu gas iishe. Halafu Subaru Icon E imeisha mafuta. Halafu ukose usikie sauti ya token ti ti ti. Sasa mtu atatoa wapi 1 million?
Alvan Love is in the house. Sawa. Unajua unafaa upatiwe title ya Safara number 1.
Really?
Kwa sababu you present the Safara situation vizuri sana. Karibu sana kwa show.
Thank you.
Tunakutaka sana juu.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here also and to at least nimekuona leo.
Hii conversation ya wana work Middle East.
Yes.
Where did you come to connect with it?
Okay, so there is something on TikTok that people do for fun called going live on TikTok.
Yes.
Right? You go live and now you can have like 6 guests on your live and it's just people from different places, dunia mzima. And you can talk about literally anything from this to the other. At some point I did even a competition, international competition on live TikTok and all that. But then something came up, like before I even got my hands dirty, kwanza kusaidia watu wa Saudi and all those Arabic countries, I realized that there were a lot of Kenyan TikTokers on these live sessions that are literally in the Middle East. Wengi sana.
Okay.
And it's because, number 1, that's the only chance they have to connect with watu wa home. Hiyo ni moja. Ya pili, it's a way of releasing stress. Right? So they will be there. Utakutana nao mpaka hadi saa 9 ya usiku. So if he's going to be live on TikTok,
yes.
He will share to me, to you, to all these other people.
Yes.
So I kept seeing a couple of people sharing a particular live from one person. Alvan, ebu ingia live. Literally, it was this girl. She was in Lebanon, who had kemboid. I don't know kama mnajua kukemboid kwa nini. Like running away from Jobo penye alikuwa.
Yes.
And it's because, number 1, okay, she had worked there for at least a year in this family. And, I mean, nyumba zenye wanafanya kazi kwazo niga ifafa mwadhani. What? Like 1 person, 4 floors. Okay?
Yes.
So if you try to show that umechoka ama you are angry because ama nini, on top of that, these guys are speaking to you in a language that you don't understand. And if you don't get that she's asking you, Wanaitaje Waiguru ama Waitito, those are the words that they use. Waiguru I think is the man, Waitito no, it's the other way around.
Even ndio wanaita wadosi wao.
Wadosi wao. So kuna Waiguru na Waitito. Yeah. Those are the names. So kama Waiguru amekwambia uende umletee pan na amekwambia you know like you're supposed to know what that means.
Yes.
Usiposhika you know it's not, there are some bosses who are just absolutely nonsensical. What our chapa, they slap them, mangumi, sujui what. So this girl that I was being shared live yake, she had kemboy, she had run away from a family that she worked for a whole year. Na hiyo siku alilimwa. Yeah, so this girl has just run away from the home she's worked in for a whole year. Na she's on the streets, she's running.
Yeah.
She had some data. Na alikuwa on live TikTok telling guys, I need people who wako Lebanon who can help me out. So with that little influence that I have hapo, I managed to ask guys, nani yako Lebanon? Right? And I got about 20 people. We are on one side talking with this lady, right? Because I got her number now from the live, and also trying to talk to the people who are around her, ndio akuwe rescued. Now, what happens is that she runs, akakutana na Msudanese pahali, ndio apate wifi. She ran out of data. Huyo Msudanese akamfungulia, ndio akamsaidia na wifi, na alikuwa anashinda akimwambia ingia bafu uoge. So dem anajiuliza, naulizwa niingie kwa bafu kwa nini? I just wanted wifi. So she's afraid, she's young. She's 22 years old. She's afraid sababu huo Msudanese alirudi akatoka na akafunga gate. Dem akafungiwa ndani. And the guy kept calling some other guy wakiwa tu hapo wakimwambianga akuje. So she felt like she was really in danger. So I managed
this time you're following this live?
Yes. I'm doing live, and at the same time I'm like trying to get all the help I can using my phone on WhatsApp and the people who we are talking to when wako karibu. It took us ilikaa mpaka to jioni late up to like 7:30. It was getting dark also on her side, and then eventually we got this other lady who managed, I think she was 20 minutes from where she was. Akachukua cab kutoka huko, akapatiwa gari na bosi yake. Na dereva. So they went to look for this girl. Now remember, udema amefungiwa ndani ya nyumba, si ndio?
Yeah.
Amefungiwa ndani ya compound. Ule jamaa Msudanese akarudi, akafungua, na walikuwa wangapi? Wawili. And akozea ingia ndani uoge, as in get in and shower. It's like, I don't need to shower. She pretended in a way like she wanted to check something outside.
Yeah.
Alipopita tu hivi gate mbio. She ran. Now remember, Wi-Fi imekatika. She doesn't have airtime either. Na data imekatika. How do we get her? Fortunately, we had managed, alikuwa ameongea na ule mwenye alikuwa 20 minutes away, long enough to know the general location na pin walikuwa wametumiana. So she's literally on the streets, na mcall, she's on the streets na anatafuta hawa wa Kenya wenzake. Right? And for some very good chance and what do you call, inaitwa nini hiyo? Kismat ama ni
serendipity.
Serendipity hapana. I think it's just God. They saw each other kwa barabara. Where are you nani? I am nani. Ni wewe ulikuwa unatafuta. They went, they sent me a photo wakiwa kwa cab. And since then she's been safe.
Okay.
With this lady, she's staying there. She left her passport. She left her clothes. She left all her documents.
One of the girls who went to rescue her had been given a car by her boss.
Yes.
So does this mean that there are good bosses in the same Middle East countries?
I don't want to look at the good bosses. I want to look at the people who are dying. That's where my focus is. Because I'll tell you why I'm on that side. Chepkemoi, when she was coming here, alipoland, there was a bunch of other girls who were leaving. But on the same plane, akikuja, was a body bag of msichana amekufa akiwa wapi? Huko.
Yeah.
Now, the things that lead them to death is bad bosses, malnutrition, being overworked, underpaid, unasikia dem ati ametoka Kenya, ulichukuliwa na ka agent hapa mtaa, si ndio? Kakwambia hey, we'll sort you unapatiwa contract, unaona hii ni poa, oh my gosh, nitakuwa na earn sijui 50k per month. Hiyo ilikuwa ya kufunga macho ukitoka hapa. The moment you land to the other side, hiyo inachukuliwa, unapatiwa Kiarabu. Unajua vile imeandikwa? Agent anakuambia it's the same thing. It's the same thing, we sign tu hapa. Kumbe saa hizo what you're actually signing is like a modern day slavery kind of document. It's called kafala. They call it kafala, where you are literally sold to a household and they go up to 2M, from 1.5 to 2M.
And who gets this 2M kwanza?
Yes, the agents. There's like a whole process of ni agents na sijui ni chafu.
They are technically buying people.
Yes, they are buying people. Kuna jamaa. Can I drop names?
Please.
Anaitwa Juma. There's a devil in horns. With horns. No, do not. Ni mbaya. That guy even chapas, and he works in one of the embassies za huko. Yeye ulimambaka hawa madem kuwa chapa.
Na kama umeadvocate for his story for this long, tunaona story ya Diana Chepkemoi and others, but still others are going. Then does it mean tunafaa tuache status quo remain world iendelee kukua vile iko, ama there is something that can be done? And I understand that you had actually created a group, bringing them together to see if, like a union sort of.
Yes.
Yeah, wow. What happened to that?
There's factors to people who work at the Gulf, at least the group that was able to put together.
Yes.
This is almost 1,200 with, of course, extra when you're on a Juana. So everyone is sharing my number. You can get help through. So my work is to connect you with someone who is close to you, or to connect with some authority that can help you, close to you, and get you out of trouble when you need to get out. So what are we trying to say? These people who have been locked in their houses for like 4 months. Kuna wengine wamefungiwa kwa agencies, 6 months wako huko. Chakula ni once, so maybe sometimes even twice a week. Sababu haezi kuachilia uende home. So lazima alipe pesa, ile family ilitoa, ndio uachiliwe uende home. So unafungiwa na agent.
So ile family ikilipa pesa, the one of yenye agent alikula,
yes,
who pays their salary?
Mdosi ndio ulipa.
Also mdosi anakubai tu kwa agent,
yes,
but there is a fee they have, yes, to pay you every month.
And please note, these girls are now literally sitting there with salaries of 17k a month. Na tulienda kufanya whatever huko.
Na wakitoka huko wanajuanga wanaendeanga.
Waliendanga wakijuanga ni salo ya inaweza saidia familia.
But the people who enable this work on this other side of the Middle
East. It's from here to there. So there's the cartel of agencies here, and then there's a cartel of agencies that side. So huyu anaenda anakuuza, huyu anakuuza kwa famu. So kabla hiyo pesa irudi, sitakuwa ngori.
So kuna madem hata sahi wanapanga wanatafuta opportunities za kwenda huko.
These girls are dying. Do you care? That's the question I'm going to ask.
I do. Do they? Anyway, wapi makofi ya Alvan? Asante sana kwa kupiga show yetu. Karibu tena na tena.
Thanks.
Asante. That's it for the weekend edition. See you next week. My name is Dr. Kingori.
When it comes to touching our faith, that one there, there is no compromise about it. We're not going to let man to tell us or the devil to tell us who we are or what we are. Our expectation comes from the righteousness of God. Anything other than that is wickedness.
Where did you come from?
Come with me. So this is where the magic happens. This is for you kids.
Taste the magic with our festive cakes from DPL Festive Bakery. Delight with every bite.
Every journey has its milestones, and each step you take reflects your confidence, resilience, and unwavering focus. And amidst the chaos, you've carved out your own path, defying the odds and inspiring those around you. You've overcome challenges and made your mark. Your story is a testament to innovation, leadership, and impact. It deserves recognition. Nominate yourself or someone who embodies greatness for the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Men 2024 title today. Visit top40.bdafrica.com to submit your nomination.
The 21st edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon is here. Register today for just 2,000 shillings at www.nairobimarathon.com.
With Glovo, unaweza order anything you want from your city. Fish choma, burgers, groceries, snacks, drinks, kitu yoyote from the pharmacy. Hata uteo. And Glovo brings it to you in minutes. Na ikikufikia, you're left with this face with this this one. Yeah! With Glovo, unaweza track your order and also contact customer support, which is always available. Download the app, order anything you want, and we'll deliver in minutes. NTV, turning on your world.
The Trend, brought to you by the Year Account from Cooperative Bank.
Hello. How are you? It's a Friday. If you know it's Friday, then you know you keep it here on NTV. TTTT starts right now. I am your host at Amina Abdi Rabah is my handle. At The Trend Live is how you can get us on X for, your opinions, your 2 cents, because a lot has taken place this week. I can't wait to dive into it and talk to my panelists about some of these stories. But first, let's take a look at what's coming up. Teresia Wambui, a daycare owner and operator in Wangige, Kiambu County, who's been arrested for allegedly engaging young children aged between 2 and 4 in sexual acts. What a sad week as Kakamega woman takes her own life after betting gone wrong. And what a day for Inject Party leader Morara as goons attacked him with chairs. And welcome to my panelists. Hi guys. Hi Cindy. Hi Mariam. Hi Mato. Hi. How are you guys?
Tuko salama kabisa.
Yeah, hata mjui how to answer.
Yeah, I know. Because now when you ask, we start thinking like, how am I?
How am I?
How am
and
I?
then you think about all those stories you've just highlighted and you're like, how am I?
Okay?
Truly. I am not okay.
Nyinyi kumbavu zenu, mimi niko sawa.
Hapana, mimi siko sawa. By the way, it's been such a toxic week for Kenya.
It has.
Such a toxic week for this country.
That's very true. I mean, every other week usually is, but then
Yeah.
some are just worse.
Worse than others.
And somehow we like keep outdoing ourselves. You're like, this is rock bottom. Nope. There's another layer.
That's true.
And
Is
then
it us or the politicians though, Mariam? I feel like
it's
they're the
them,
ones
but
showing us dust.
Sometimes it's also us, kidogo.
Yeah, they keep us updated. They keep us on our toes. And it's just, they're like the 4th day of October. So I'm just thinking, gosh,
Yeah.
what will happen by Christmas time?
We
But
don't know.
otherwise, we're good. We're, you know, positive energy, love and light and all those good vibes.
Yeah. Well, I hope I had the same to say, and I was very upset. In fact, it's one of the things we were talking about with Mato when we first got to the office. Lawyer and activist Morara Kebaso was attacked by goons and forced to flee Bomas of Kenya during a public participation exercise on the proposed impeachment of Deputy President Gachagua. The 28-year-old outspoken critic of the Kenya Kwanza regime was injured when he attempted to go on the podium and address the crowd. And it was raining chairs. There was a shot, I don't even know if you can play that, but he was cornered and you could just see them throwing chairs, and one of them really hit him really badly on the head. Look at that. Can you see that? Please let's note that the only thing Morara does is talk about the stalled projects.
Yeah.
He is just highlighting how corrupt politicians are in this country. That's all he's doing. Look at that. Look at that.
That's why when you asked, is it the politicians or is it us?
Yeah.
I was like, it's also us.
You're right,
It's
it is
not.
us.
It's not just the politicians because those are there's no one in government there throwing a chair at Morara.
Yeah.
And even if you say, oh, you know, people are paid to do these things, you can take the politicians' money and do absolutely nothing. You know, con them the way they have conned you time after time, year after year. But this is really heartbreaking to see. We are definitely part of the problem. Like you said, all he does is go around and show you that every project that has sunk billions, millions, hundreds of thousands of shillings is actually nowhere. There's no progress going on kwa ground. That's all he does. And this is how we repay him. Mtu anakupigania au unampiga vita pia.
That's why we said goons by the Mariam.
I think hapa makosa ilifanyika kwa sababu the mood of the audience today at Bomas was anti-politicians. And because Morara just so happened to move from a Kenyan doing civil education to being a leader of a political party, I think the wrath of Kenyans just went to him as well. It is unfair. He is actually has been doing a very good job, but ni kama hiyo hasira ilienda ikamtandika because it was in the same space that people were saying Gachagua must go. People were saying Ruto must go in that same space. And you see, the interesting thing is there was a lady, there's a clip of a lady,
Caroline Chepto,
who yes, declared her name very loud and clear. Alisema saa hii ndio wakati mko na mashida zenu ndio mnatuita sisi ma youth na mnataka tuwasikize. Okay? Well, other than the fact that alisema chakula ni nini, alisema everybody must go. Si lazima tungojea ati mpaka wakati wa elections. But fact is, different areas in Kenya were having different opinions towards, you know, the not injection, the impeachment of the deputy president.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say this. For once, hii ni vita yao, wacha wapigane. Wakimaliza, wakuje sasa, tunawangojea na Shif na Adani. Yeah? Haya. Mkimaliza hiyo mtatuambia.
Sorry, Cindy. Mona hashtag impeach both trending today, by the way.
Yes, that's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. First, shout out to Caroline Chepto. She was not
mincing her words.
Not at all. Not at all. Yes, Cindy?
First of all, I think what happened in Bomas was bogus. I think this whole impeachment thing is bogus, and I'm happy to be quoted on it because we are removing our focus from how our country is being sold and stolen from right under us. And it just goes to show how we are so sensational as Kenyans that if something small, scandalous is dangled in front of us, we jump up and we bite and we forget, you know, the grand picture. There is this Nigerian proverb, I'll say it very quickly in the interest of time, that how do you trap a monkey? You trap it with something shiny. So you put something shiny in a gourd, and it will put its hand in the gourd, and it will struggle to remove the hand, not because it's stuck in the gourd, but because it wants to catch something shiny.
But Cindy,
so that is what we are being done for. All this impeachment stuff is shiny things that are being put in our eyes, but we are being trapped to forget what is actually
but
going
Cindy,
on.
you don't feel something has changed? Like, people are aware that that is what they are trying to do.
But if people are aware that's what they're trying to do, who are these people who are throwing chairs at Morara?
Those are goons. I've told you, hired
Those
goons.
are
The
goons.
same way during Maandamano,
Yes.
we had hundreds of
Hired goons.
Dudi riders coming in with brand new printed, what are they called? What were they?
Placards,
carrying?
T-shirts.
Oh, getting
Fresh,
fuel.
Fuel,
printed,
yes.
Yes. You know, we did see a lot of people who were interrupting, you know, the demonstrations, our very peaceful demonstrations, so that they could give it a bad name. They could say, look, they're here to loot. Look, they're here to do this and they're here to do that. But I feel like, haven't you seen this script before? We have, yeah?
Yeah, we have.
We have so many times. It's just with the younger generation, and I personally am a bit disappointed with Casmuel. You know,
Why?
because he stands for, or rather, he was a figure of the people, of Gen Z movement, and standing against sensationalization. And now he's up on a podium. Instead of speaking like Caroline, he's speaking like the politicians, to the point where they're behind him and they're nodding. You're like, seriously, how much is your soul worth? There's absolutely no way you can convince me that you've not sold your soul. It's disappointing.
Because those politicians, when they're clapping for you and agreeing with you, just know.
Just
that
know that
problem.
you're lying
You
in
have-
bed with them, and you know, you've been put on a pedestal by people who believe that you're fighting for the people, but now you've decided to go on the other side, and the person who's actually fighting for the people is literally being fought.
Can I
Could
say
that
something?
be the reason probably why? Sorry.
There's always a danger whenever you see someone pop out and come out and be very vocal against the government, and we've seen a lot of it over the last few months. There's always that danger that they'll either flip to the other side or become the thing that they are fighting against. So for some people it takes 10 years, for some people it takes 6 months, some people it takes, I don't know, maybe a few days. It just depends on how they get you. But whenever you see someone with like a hunger for wanting to be seen, not so much pushing their agenda, but they're just like, I want to be seen to be doing something, that's always like a big red flag. And I don't know about Casmuel's bigger agenda or even Morara's. You support them when they're with you. When they're no longer with you, you leave them behind. When they're pushing like what we're pushing, good. If not, keep it moving.
Well, it could be also the fact that we had politicians who were defending Morara even during his case. That people have started feeling that, okay, he's no longer in bed with us, he's in bed with the other people, because it's an us against them. It's a very clear politicians, the political class, against the Kenyans.
Absolutely.
That's very true. And if they don't see it that way, then that's just how you know, you can tell that we exist in very different worlds, you know. All right, so now as we move on, the nerve-wracking abduction and gang raping of a Mombasa-based blogger over political differences has left the country fuming, with calls being made for those responsible to face the full force of the law. Bruce John, popularly known as Chawa, was brutally abducted from his home in Bamburi by people linked to Mombasa Governor Abdul Swamad Sharif Nasir before being assaulted, sodomized and left in a dump site at Mwakirunge area within Mombasa County. While 4 people have been charged with the abduction and sexual assault of the blogger, many Kenyans are calling for the arrest and prosecution of the governor, whom Bruce has accused of having a hand in his ordeal. Now, I don't know if you guys listened to the audio. There was an audio that was shared. It completely broke my heart, and you could hear them confirming, "Wewe ndiye Bruce, utawachana na governor." And I don't, you know, politics is a very dirty game, you know, so I don't even know if it was the actual audio of you know, the incident. I don't know, but that's what you hear in the audio, them telling him to not talk about the governor. So it was completely heartbreaking. And you know, we have all, especially hapa kwa hii panel, tumeongea tumesema vitu mingi. Have you guys seen the video though of what Bruce had said? He did talk badly. He did insult the governor, the governor's mom, the governor's wife. I understand. I'm insulted every day. In fact, even today, right under this hashtag, you will find very many insults, and some of them will be very personal. But I've never thought of sending anyone to do anything. I don't understand, Mato. I know you saw the video. I know you saw the story. What were your thoughts?
I did.
Given how very vocal you are.
You
are vocal.
Unajaribu kuharibu bwana.
No, nakwambia ni venye nashtua tu, yani mtu mmoja anaweza fanywa hivyo.
I intentionally avoided watching the video. But I did see the story. And I think and I believe the intention of this action was not only to publicly embarrass the guy, but to also break him psychologically, mentally, wound him to the core of who he is as a man, what he stands for and what he represents. I can only hope that they did not succeed. But it is very clear, the entire nation at this point knows that this man was sodomized. Like, you know, probably even small kids in the streets who have no emotional intelligence to know how to handle talking to somebody who has gone through such an ordeal. They have unfortunately succeeded in that thing. I can only hope and pray. And you know, I don't know, okay, see condolences. Like, pole tu sana, Bruce. This was a very heartbreaking ordeal for you to go through. First as a man, then as a Kenyan. It is very unfair. And I don't think anything is going to happen to the governor, because there is no direct evidence that points to the fact that he was actively involved or actually involved. And he's just going to go scot-free, and he's accomplished what he needed to accomplish.
I like that Bruce came out with this story, you know. The shame should not be on him. Yeah. And the same thing happened to the French lady. I don't know if you guys had the chance to see that story. There was a French lady whose husband, for close to a decade, I understand, would drug her and record her having intercourse with many men, and he proceeds to sell those videos and clips on the internet. And she told this story because she didn't want to cling on that shame, because it does affect you psychologically, emotionally, and as you've said, Mato, as a man, it does affect you. And I like that he came out and talked about the story, and he has received empathy from all, you know, corners of the country. Mariam, I want to hear your thoughts as well.
First of all, pole sana to Bruce and to all other victims of sexual violence. I think this is the first time where I've seen people not go the other way when a story like this comes out. You know, usually, men
blame the victim.
Yes, blame the victim, or even try to turn it into a joke or something of the sort. This is the first time I haven't seen that happen. I will say this. When you give people an inch, they take a mile. So this is a direct correlation of letting the smaller things slide. Like the use of violence by this administration to, you know, quell people who are vocal about the injustices going on, or to clamp down on dissent, has been very, very prominent. And this is just like another step. It's an allegation as of now, but now that we're graduating from this form of violence to now sexual violence, like these things are not accidental. That's why whenever we have these calls for justice for every small wrongdoing, it's so important to keep people in check. I hope that justice is found. I know it's an allegation, there's links and, you know, all of that, so I won't go into that, but I really, really hope that there is a world in where Bruce gets justice. I don't even know what justice looks like exactly for him, but I hope there's a world in where he gets it. And we can't let it slide, because you let it slide, then who knows what the next thing is.
Yes, who knows? You know, we all watched the video of DJ Evolve, and, you know, we haven't seen any action really being taken, and there's a hopelessness that people feel. You know, and then seeing Bonnie, I don't know if you guys saw Boniface Mwangi in hospital, and you know, sometimes it really does break your heart to see what everyone who has decided to speak up, which is pretty much all of us at this point, what, you know, a lot of us are going through mentally. Now, Cindy, I know you haven't said your piece. I will talk to you right after the break. We have to take a quick break. We have more coming up though right after the break. Do not go anywhere. You're watching TT.
Sikia, ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu pakituka na shika yami na flow kama maji tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu moja juu ni tamu kama sali. Ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni juicy. Flavor zote tamu tena fruity. Are you bored? Kuna vitu zinakuudhi, sijali my bro, hebu kama taka juicy juu ni.
Usiachwe nyuma. Join us at the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Register by visiting www.nairobimarathon.com and help us move Kenya forward. Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Run, embrace possibility.
You know you're flying with the world's best. Crowned by Skytrax 15 years in a row. Yep, we've taken over 500 million of you to places. Our crew, they train like champions. Global safety standards, we nailed them. 23 years and counting, all thanks to our dedicated All-Stars and you.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
This week on Churchill Show.
Mtu ana aibu. Ako bunge hajawahi changia kitu lakini ako bunge. Hajali ni shida yako.
Padana na paunza anatembea hivi kumbe ni family pladi.
Ukienda kwa gym 90% it's women. Cause piga.
Polisi wa Kenya na kizungu ni kama president na ukweli.
Did I ever say how I feel about you?
You are watching The Trend, brought to you by the Year Account from Cooperative Bank.
And welcome back. Right before the break, we were talking about the abduction that took place in Mombasa, where a blogger was not only tortured, but he was also sodomized. Cindy, we didn't hear from you. What are your thoughts on that?
I first heard about this story when I saw a post on Jugusha's Instagram, Justice for Bruce. I was like, hey, what's going on? I was a bit out of touch. And I went to Twitter. And when I just went through the thread, my heart was I was so heartbroken. I have not heard any audio. I have not watched any video. I saw bits of some, censored clips. And I'm just like, when did we get so evil as a country? There's some things that are happening. I don't know. Amina asked me earlier on, do you feel that things are changing? Do you guys actually feel like Kenya has become more evil? Like there is another level of stuff that we do that's unprecedented. We've never seen it before. Fine, you could say it's a generational thing, but guys are just doing some really nasty, horrible, heartbreaking things. And they're recording it and they're getting away with it. Yeah. So in my heart, I'm just like, so what is the end game? What are we saying to activists, people who are speaking up and speaking for the people and against corruption? Is this the way to go? Are we justifying? So that is somebody's child. Somebody's husband, maybe, somebody's father. I don't know if Bruce has kids, but it's just, the immediate thought that came to my mind is, when did we get so evil as a country? Yeah. It's baffling. Those are things you see in other countries. You're like, hey, in Kenya? Never.
But Nyayo House, they went through, the torture was bad and
never see again.
Yeah.
Right? That was like, it was a history lesson.
Yeah.
But someone is determined to take us back to those days where it's like our present as well.
Yeah. And since when, what do you mean you can't differ with someone? Everybody, when you get into politics, don't you know that you have people who hate everything about
That
you.
you are
they
employed
don't
by the people.
even-
That when they differ with you, their taxes are paying your salary. They have a right to have a voice and have checks and balances.
But Cindy,
you know,
Mato, you mean to tell me that he could not seek legal redress? There was
Aye,
nothing
come
he
on.
could have done.
In Kenya, you get a position like this. You feel so important.
That's true.
That nobody should even breathe the same air that you're
That is
breathing.
true.
You should not stand within 100 centimeters next to me.
But I don't know. The evil is, like Cindy is saying, there's something so deep-rooted,
Yeah.
meaningful about. Because even his mom is implicated. The governor's mom is also implicated in the investigation. I'm like, someone's mother doing that to someone's child. How do we, even deal with this as a country? If the allegations are found to be true, then they all need to be in jail, right? All of them, from the people who are in that clip, from the men who sodomized him, to the governor, to his mom.
Because that's what Bruce did say, that the mom was also, part of it. Pole sana, Bruce. Truly, pole sana. And also pole to Morara. You didn't deserve that.
Justice for Bruce.
Yeah. Now, let's switch things over to Kakamega now. A small-scale businesswoman in Kakamega County reportedly died by suicide on the 1st of October, earlier this week on Tuesday, after allegedly losing 60,000 in a gambling spree. The Kambiri area chief, while speaking to the press, disclosed that the woman was found dead inside her shop in Kakamega town. This isn't the first of this case we have had when it comes to gambling, because you believe it's coming back. She knew she's going to win, like, let's say 100K or 200K, and people even gamble fees, rent, things that it's coming back. So you can't have that conversation with your spouse or your partner or your family, and you just decide to take your own life. Yes, Mato?
As a content creator, people keep on asking me, why don't you endorse, why don't you promote, why don't you do betting or gambling? This is why. This is why. And I will not, I do not do it myself. I will not promote it or, glorify it. No matter how many times it can be said, it can change your life. The fact remains, it has destroyed more lives than the lives it has changed.
Yeah, it has.
That's true. That is very true, by the way. And they pay well, Bato. Why?
Najua.
They pay well.
Najua.
Because they make a lot of money.
Let me tell you.
They pay better than any other.
Hapa tu. Naangalia watoto wangu watatu, naangalia hii pesa. Then nakumbuka, ni watoto wangu natafutia hii pesa. So ninataka kutumia hii pesa kuwatafutia alafu ikuje iwa...
Poteze, ujui,
Wacha ikae.
I get what Mato is saying. I mean, here's the thing. There's always like the bigger question of what's happening as far as regulation is concerned in this country for betting, right? Because people don't gamble here for fun or for, I have a little extra, let me see what happens here. People gamble for a living. Like you've said, Amina, people are like, Nekai school fees because I have 3 kids and school fees for 1. If I can triple it today, that would be fantastic. So I'm putting my rent down, I'm putting my entire salo, I'm putting the last 1,000 bob, the last 50 bob, and that's where you get to a point where you're so desperate where you feel like, this is the end for me if the bet goes wrong. Now, the gaming and regulation question is a big one because whenever we try to regulate gaming, it's from a tax perspective. It's how much can the government extract from betting because they're making so much money with absolutely no thought to what can we do to protect our people from this level of gambling. Even something as simple as a cap of how much you can bet in a day. Something so small so people are not putting in their last 60K and then finding themselves in such a terrible position, right? Even something as simple as creating a work environment where people have meaningful employment so that they don't treat betting like a career.
Yes.
Things like that, like a job environment
like a source
that works.
of income.
A source of income for them.
Mariam, you're so funny. So you want the government now to care
its
about
job.
you. Oh, okay.
I want them to do their job.
Okay.
Impossible.
Why?
Yeah.
Gambling can't be regulated.
Just have to focus on the taxes. What was the reason SportPesa exited the market, initially?
Taxes. It was taxes.
It wasn't because people were being affected and, the children were not going to school. It had nothing to do with that. Yes, Cindy?
So, gambling, alcohol, cigarettes, they're all drugs. They are all
addictive,
very highly addictive. And there's a reason why the government cannot regulate to the extent that, Mariam is saying where they put a cap because they benefit. The more people gamble, the more the betting companies make money, the more
taxes
they
they collect.
So it is the question of, is it somebody's personal choice to put their entire savings into gambling. Vis-a-vis, it's somebody's personal choice to to drink their rent. Is it somebody's personal choice to buy a packet of cigarettes and smoke until they get lung cancer? Where does the personal choice come in? That's my angle. It's important to know that with every habit, of course, there's the desperation with gambling because there's an immediate return, there is money. But with all these addictions, there is a choice because you get something from it. So at what point do we say, okay, gambling is bad, but it is also somebody's choice
Can I give you an example,
put their entire life savings into this funny game or into this football minis? Where does the personal
Because at the
choice
same
come
time,
in?
the government, once they step in, then you say, but I have free will. What do you mean? This is my money, myself. What do you mean you're telling me what to do with it?
I don't think regulation has to be like, hey, ban this, do that. I'll give a good example of like vapes in the UK were becoming a big problem. Teenagers vaping, which of course they'll do, right? But the UK government did a very simple thing of having, requiring them to lower the amount of their nicotine, yes, substantially, right? And also to have it labeled, only sold in specific places, all of that. That simple, very small regulation means that the UK now has much lower levels of like vaping compared to the rest of the West, and especially the US. Something so small can make such a big difference, but we want to be like, and they've not taken away the free will. They didn't ban vapes. They just said you can only have nicotine of this amount so that the level of addictiveness is like reduced. And it's like a small, little regulation, but it made such a huge difference for them as a country. And I think if there's those small changes that we can make, but like you've said, the more people gamble, the more the tax shillings. So we're on our own.
We were supposed to ban vapes in the country.
Yeah, even
what
shisha.
happened? I mean,
Shisha
is still so funny. Shisha is still so
funny. It's still banned.
In fact, that's what happened.
Technically, it's banned.
Actually, Sunny one day, in Kenya, what happened is when they banned shisha, all of a sudden, people realized, hiya, there's this thing called vapes. Now, vape is more harmful. They're both just as bad, but vapes are more harmful. And the worst part is that you're allowed to go with it on the aeroplane. You're allowed, you can't detect the smoke as if, when you're smoking cigarettes. And I wish it was banned because younger and younger people are now trying it out. And all it takes is you taking one puff. People used to deter from cigarettes because it makes you cough. It gives you a, it's not the same when it comes to
vapes that come in as smartwatches.
What?
Yes. Yes. A vape that comes as a smartwatch.
It's too much.
Then unarudisha.
Okay. What?
Telling you, scene industry is very creative.
It should be banned. It should be banned. And you don't even know when you get addicted to it. There are more vape addicts in the country now. It's insane. High school kids, primary, like we don't want to get to the level, that the UK got to, but it's really, really bad. It's really bad. All right, so now talking of bad, this is probably one of the worst stories that I had of the entire week. And again, nini ninaendelea. Teresia Wamboi, a daycare owner and operator in Wangige, Kiambu County, has been arrested for allegedly engaging young children aged between 2 and 4 in sexual acts. Police raided a three-year-old facility after a tip-off and a complaint from a parent and found more than 10 children thought to be victims of the suspect's disgraceful acts. During the arrest, the woman attempted to crash a phone believed to be containing video recordings of the minors performing despicable acts with each other. As a parent, you leave your kids at the daycare to try go hustle, There's usually other family member nearby. Maybe you're a single mom or a single dad, or both of you go to work, so you have to leave the kids. And then this is what you hear. I don't even know how I would, I don't know. I don't know.
This one is a tough one.
So this is not a conversation. Again, like what happened earlier with the children. No, other children who died. Yeah.
Okay.
This is not a conversation on be careful on who you leave your children with. It is not that, because this is somebody who is meant to be running a legitimate business who is just evil to the core by themselves. Because no matter how much due diligence you'd have done, this would not have come to be known had that one person, you know, been lucky to see something that looked very strange in this person's phone, and then akasema hapa kuna shida. Because kuna wale wanasema nyinyi wazazi ambao pia si mkae na watoto wenu nyumbani muwachunge badala kuwapeleka kwa daycare. You do not know the circumstances around these parents who need that service provided by this woman, and what this woman was selling was trust. Yeah. Which she broke. This is what she was selling. It was trust which she broke. And to think that I personally actually wanted to go into this business at some point in my life. Where?
No, but there's nothing wrong with that, Mato.
No.
You're very...
Where?
No, it's true. You know, I don't know if you remember the story of the daycare owner in the US who killed her husband because she found out that he was molesting the kids at the daycare center. There are some people who start daycare centers and they are pedos. You know, there are people who work with kids, whether it's opening an orphanage or you have an NGO that deals with children. But you know, they're creepy like that. Pedos are really weird, bro. And also, who is she selling these clips and videos to? What the hell is going on, Mariam?
It's a whole ring, clearly. And the fact that she had, customers that she was trying to protect when she was caught, because the first thing she did was try and like break the phone, because that's where all the evidence was, means it's a much bigger ring. So that needs to be taken care of, because pedophilia in this country is such a big business. Child trafficking, sex trafficking, big businesses along the coast, but even in Nairobi, anywhere basically. The fact that people entrusted their children with her is so scary. I don't know, for any parent out there, I don't even know. I also hope that these kids get the necessary help, so they can one day, hopefully recover from this from a psychological perspective, because it's a lot to go through at such a young age. And I wish the same for their parents. But like I said, child trafficking, sex trafficking, child pornography, there's such big issues that we don't take care of, because a lot of the times it happens to kids who are either orphaned or street children, or or from very destitute homes and things like that. So it doesn't catch people's radar, because for some reason, it's like you don't think those kids are deserving of the same rights. But I'm hoping that we can get to a place where we're not talking about children being trafficked. Child pornography is a thing of the past. We have safeguards online for catching these things. Yeah, maybe in a different Kenya.
May she burn in hell.
I hope
May
so.
she burn in hell. May
These
she
stories
get
are
the full
Leo
force of the law. May she be cornered when she's in jail and worse things are happening to her.
Yeah.
May she always drop the soap and get the full penalty. And may the wrath that she has brought upon these children come before
10
to her
times.
10 times.
Yes.
Because if you over-sexualize a child when they are young, it is very difficult to change. There are things that you can change later on in a child, but over-sexualization, it becomes part and parcel. And the way Mariam has said, God be with those kids. Bring me back to my earlier question. Why has Kenya become so evil? It's become so evil. And yes, you could say, there are cases like that. There was a charity, I think it was last year but one. Some foreigner, I think some UK guy, who was extradited to the UK to face charges because apparently he was molesting these boys. So it does happen. But I'm just thinking of late. Do you know, I personally told, even before the show, I told my husband, I'm not going to talk about this story. It's traumatizing me. I have boys that age. And these women are these are nannies, most of them. Unaenda kibarua unacha mtoto wako. Now you have double trouble. You have to still fend for your kids. Because see at now, because their kids have been molested in this daycare, they will not take their kids to another daycare. They have to. I want an option. And that time your child's burn in hell.
Yeah, I would for sure be in jail. I know.
I would. Girl. I would be in jail with you.
Yeah. I hope she also burns in hell. That is wicked. I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, is this a true story?
Yes.
Like, did this actually happen? You were shocked as well, right?
Yes.
And I know you're equally as shocked as you watch the show. Please tell me what your thoughts are on any of the stories that we have discussed at the Trend Live. The hashtag is TT. We're about to take a break. Let's find out what's coming up on the news at the top of the hour. We'll be right back after this.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
Usiachwe nyuma. Join us at the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Register by visiting www.nairobimarathon.com and help us move Kenya forward. Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon. Run, embrace possibility.
And we need 2 Royco cubes because iron gives you strength to skuma yourself to be the best you can be.
Is Dove better than ordinary soap? We're going to prove it. Take a bar of your soap and Dove. Use yours on one side, Dove on the other. The soap part feels rough. The Dove side is softer, smoother, and more radiant. With 1/4 moisturizing cream, Dove deeply nourishes for radiant skin all over. Try Dove and feel the difference.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last. This is NTV.
Tonight, a country divided on the plan to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as an extra day for public participation is added. The divisions in the cabinet seem outright ugly.
Ingekuwa ni Olympics ya ufisadi angepata gold medal.
Also tonight, the public participant who some did not want. Activist Morara Kebaso injured by goons at Nairobi's public participation venue. The Gen Z movement was represented at various venues. Plus,
the commission has identified at least 7 ways through which county officials are looting public funds through payroll fraud.
Fleecing counties through emoluments. ESCC investigating over 350 cases of payroll fraud in counties. And
look at the water.
why? It is all polluted. Being wise in saving the earth from the heat of climate change regardless of age.
We plant trees, we water them, we empower people to pick up litter.
The Earthwise Summit comes to a close with a solid declaration.
We have heard a strong call to utilize international legal mechanisms to seek justice for those unjustly impacted by the climate crisis.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last. Kenya ni nchi ya mabingwa na
hapa hakuna shortcut.
Kuwa bingwa ni kujitolea, kujituma.
Mabingwa hutambua mabingwa wenzao.
Mabingwa hurauka kabla ya jua kuchomoka. Wengine huwa mabingwa wa familia. Mabingwa huhakikisha tuna shine kama mabingwa. Wao hutulisha vyema. Ma-influencer wa kutuconnect mtandaoni. Mabingwa, wale ambao hutuongoza.
Sisi wote ni mabingwa.
Kijana hapo mbele, mzee hapo nyuma. Jamaa na jembe. Boda alimleta jamaa na jembe. Msichana wa kibao. Memba wa bodi, msichana wa maziwa.
Sisi wote ni Team Kenya.
club, my club, my club. It's day 2 of My Club Festival Nakafu with exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards. It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu.
You are watching The Trend, brought to you by the Year Account from Cooperative Bank.
And we're back. All right, so we promised to read some messages on X. I would, of course, as usual, love to hear from you watching about any of the stories that we have so far discussed. Let me start off with Mariam.
I'm seeing someone on Twitter saying, of course, shame on them to the people who are attacking Morara. He feels that, you know what, that was absolutely out of order. I'm seeing Golden Karina saying, impeach both under the issue of, the Morara issue. And then he's saying, impeach both. The fact that all of them, mtoizitwa, suruali bila kutoa trouser, ama the other way around. I don't know what he's saying. I also see Michael Mitch saying on the story of the gambling that it's so sad that the effects of the economy and the dubious ways of making money through gambling are grasping and destroying careers and families. These betting platforms are always cunning and always prolong the bridge between the poor and the rich by making people lazy.
Azumi says, Igava ni kama it has mastered the art of diversions and giving us the slip. But jokes on them. We have the same traps Gachagua planted in their yard now being used against them. Inject na tusisahau venye wanatuzungusha na IEBC. Teddy is asking us, are you guys aware my university is closed just because students demonstrated they wanted to go back to class to be taught? Where are we headed as a country? 7 weeks wasted, no learning. I was in my university. Gosh, I'm shocked I graduated.
Max Nilma,
we'd be out of class more than we were in.
Max Nilma says, nowadays nikiwatch TV damu inachemka tu msee.
Really?
Nimejam tu sana. Yani nimejam tu. Wezi guza Morara hivyo alafu expect to just sit down and do nothing. I despise these politicians from the very depth of my blackened black heart. Then Dr. Kevin Sindora says, hello guys, great to see you. Mimi sina maoni leo. Wacha nisalimie my all-time crush, Mariam Bisha.
Apparently, Mariam, what you're wearing is giving people pressure. Azumi is like, darling, you're looking delish, but your yellow, your UDA is throwing me off.
Ni yellow tu yangu, siya UDA.
Siya UDA. Yes.
But then there's always a tweet asking if Mariam is single.
Leo,
I see Abuya or Abuya. TJ Kajwan.
Kuna yako hapa. Iko. OMG, Amina the Green Slay girl.
But people are asking for KG, TJ Kajwang to also, because he was inciting the goons. I don't know if you guys had that on the microphone. But Morara went to hospital. He was attacked, which of course it didn't need to get there. I'm just, I don't know, but I also just get really upset every time I watch the news these days. So that's not, I'm so sure very many Kenyans agree that it is upsetting to watch what is happening. Because you feel like you're watching things burn and you don't know what to do. Between Adani, the impeachments, you're like, we're gonna drama mob. All right, so let's move over a bit to Uganda. So, a Ugandan member of parliament has tabled a bill that may invalidate a marriage if newly wedded couples do not consummate it within 6 months. The Marriage Bill 2024, tabled by Tororo District Women MP Sarah Opendi, will give newlyweds a 6 months ultimatum, failure to which their union will be declared null and void. This isn't something Kenyans should ever. Nairobi.
Kenya kuna shida.
Not a problem. This is a non-issue for Kenyans. 6 months. That's what are we doing?
That's a grace period and a half.
That's
not 6 months.
Alafu huku kwetu ni ukika na mtu 6 months.
You're automatically
married.
Yeah. The goalpost is shifting. Now, when the legislation came up, I was like, okay, what was the problem that led to this bill being drafted? Was this MP seeing marriages where people are taking longer than 6 months to consummate, and she was like, we have to put it in the law? Was that an issue? Or did she just come up with it out of nowhere?
Is it the men or the women who was complaining?
That's
I also want to know.
And then 6 months, she took my brother and sister. Like, what up, bro? What up,
It's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Who is the person who came up with this law?
An MP, a lady.
Is it a female or a male MP?
A female.
A female MP. So she's fighting for the rights of the
women.
females in Uganda.
So who called
and
Uganda?
you know very well that the Ugandan ladies, they like to be... Okay.
You would know, Macho. You would know.
Let us move to the next story if there is one.
Macho is like, we didn't need 6 months. We were okay. No, but 6 months is a long time. I feel like just, 2 weeks, even a week, even that 1 week.
Yes.
What are we doing here? What are we
under the
doing?
impression, if you don't consummate, it's not legal. Is that a thing? It's just
And how will they know? Back in the day, they used to come
and
and check, because when you break your hymen, you bleed a little. So they used to check culturally where I'm from. And, for a lot of Kushite communities. They do that.
Interesting fact very quickly.
Quickly.
The responsibilities of the male in the setup of the marriage. If the male does not meet his responsibilities, it is punishable by law. But if the female does not meet her responsibilities, anaweza jibamba tu.
Yeah, ni jibambe.
No, the man can take.
You can take them to court.
You can take a woman. You can take a woman to court, and she's punished for not having sex with you.
Yes.
Yeah.
You can sue for divorce. It's negligence.
Yes, you can sue for divorce. That is one thing. Yes. But will she be punished?
Of
for
course
not.
Why?
Would the man be punished, Mato?
No, the man ni kuprovide. Akikosa kuprovide,
guys, I need to real quick talk about the next story. I'm so sorry. Mimi nimekwambia hii si issue Kenya. Sisi tunaambiwa, in fact, guys, please relax. Let's just
slow down.
Take a chill pill. It's fine. Kwani unagongewa mtu wako unasema nini? Hey. Anyway, now nominated Senator Gloria Orwoba has called for the ban of X, formerly Twitter in Kenya, stating that it is used to spread misinformation and hate speech. And I want to know what you guys think.
Why are we still talking about her?
That's exactly it.
She's such a non-issue like the previous topic. Like, seriously.
Same. I was just about, let me zip it, because if I talk, I'll talk trash. Honestly, given every other story we've talked about and the seriousness of the issues that are plaguing our country, Gloria, this is the hill you want to die on?
She has too much energy for a nominated senator.
Hey.
Too much.
You know, let me tell you,
pads for girls.
Anafanya kazi zingine mzuri.
Hakuna kazi
Hii amegonga.
Hakuna kazi anafanya.
Pads for girls was a sham. It was a sham, first of all. So
listen, your entire campaign cannot be about
sanitary towels.
And then you support it being taxed.
Right?
The irony of it all.
Honestly,
the audacity of it all. So no, I mean, it's also not a good time to be a politician right now, unless you're maybe Peter Salastia, because he looks like he's the only one enjoying his time.
Having fun.
And he said the reason why he's not scared is because back at home, people know he's working. That's why you cannot walk in front of people. So the reason why they're finding it really hot on X, and let me tell you, when you're trending on that Twitter, because people come at you hot, heavy, endless. It's an endless, you just see it. Notification, 14 tweets already in the past 4 seconds. So I know how they feel on their end, but then why don't you hold yourself to account? Why don't you look at it? They're not just hating, they're not even just criticizing. They want you to do better. Now, awataki kukubembeleza, you know.
Holding you accountable.
But anyway, thank you so much, guys. Mato?
No, you're just being held accountable.
Yeah.
And
Mario?
accountability is where they draw the line.
Yeah, accountability hurts kidogo.
Kidogo. Small. Cindy?
Again, she's a non-issue. So.
Hey! Cindy amesema kama muna stories zingine tafadhali close the show. We are not talking about it. Close the show. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Amina Abdirabah. We'll catch you at 10 p.m. We have King Madi. We have a host of other guests. Please make sure that you check out the show at 10 p.m. Time now, though, for the news. Good evening.
The Trend, brought to you by the Year Account from Cooperative Bank.
Get that money, better save that money, alafu. Yeah. Lazima tutafute, tukafunge. Yeah. Life jipe, na sio kesho.
Make it happen right now, not yeah.
crowned by Skytrax 15 years in a row. Yep, we've taken over 500 million of you to places. All thanks to our dedicated All-Stars and you.
Polio is a crippling and killer disease that has no cure. But through vaccination, polio can be eradicated. As a result of a confirmed outbreak of polio in Nairobi and Turkana counties, as well as in our neighboring country, and also low immunization coverages in some counties, all children are at high risk of getting polio. From Wednesday 2nd to Sunday 6th October 2024, the Ministry of Health, county government with support from partners, will conduct a polio vaccination campaign in high-risk counties, namely Busia, Bungoma, Trans Nzoia, West Pokot and Turkana, which will target children under 10 years. Also, the campaign will take place in entire Nairobi and selected sub-counties of Kabete, Kikuyu, Kiambaa, Kiambu Town, Juja, Ruiru and Thika in Kiambu County, Matungulu, Kangundo and Mavoko in Machakos County, as well as Kajiado East and North in Kajiado County, where the campaign will target all children under 5 years. Health teams will conduct house-to-house vaccinations. Parents and guardians are requested to ensure their children are at home during the campaign period. Those who are missed during the house visits should get the polio vaccine in the nearest public health facility. Polio has no cure, and it can only be prevented through multiple vaccinations, and each dose given provides additional protection. Parents and the public are requested to report to the nearest health facility any child under 15 years experiencing sudden weaknesses in their hands, legs, or both with no history of injury. Polio and other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF and other partners.
Dawa, tu vitu tudogo lakini hesabu mingi. 1 times 4, 3 times 2, 2 times.
Umepitisha limit ya dawa.
That's a tough pill to swallow. He's now wondering why he doesn't have Shwari medical cover. Una access full limit kutumia unavyohitaji. Ukiwa na Shwari, utawahi sikia umepitisha limit ya dawa na bado kuna pesa imebaki. Bonyeza *371# kuchukua Shwari medical cover leo.
My Club, My Club, My Club! It's day 2 of My Club Festival na Carrefour with exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards. It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day na Carrefour.
This is the comfort of a mom's hug. Nahi ni Morphix Pants Comfort that feels just like a mom's hug. Babies play around and then, oops, Morphix ina absorb like whoop. Imagine, haiwezi leak in 50 different movements. Makofi to both babies and Morphix. Renewed Morphix, ultimate quality.
This is NTV.
Friday, the 4th of October. A very good evening to you and welcome to the broadcast. Now, tonight we dive into the heart of democracy as we explore the unprecedented public participation exercise surrounding the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Will the process set a new precedent or falter under legal scrutiny? We'll cover rising tensions in Nyeri as residents protest against the impeachment motion, the latest court directives that could reshape the process, and what Kenyans are saying about their leadership. In the course of the broadcast, we'll also engage with constitutional lawyer Charles Kanjama to dissect the legal implications of this historic impeachment motion. NTV Weekend Edition begins right now. Here are the day's top stories. A country divided on the plan to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua as an extra day for public participation is added. The divisions in the cabinet seem outright ugly.
Ingekuwa ni Olympics ya ufisadi angepata gold medal.
Also tonight, the public participant who some did not want. Activist Morara Kebaso injured by goons at Nairobi's public participation venue. The Gen Z movement was represented at various venues. Plus,
the commission has identified at least 7 ways through which county officials are looting public funds through payroll fraud.
Fleecing counties through emoluments. ESCC investigating over 350 cases of payroll fraud in counties. And
look at the water. Why? It is all polluted.
Being wise in saving the earth from the heat of climate change regardless of age.
We plant trees, we water them, we empower people to pick up litter.
The Earthwise Summit comes to a close with a solid declaration.
We have heard a strong call to utilize international legal mechanisms to seek justice for those unjustly impacted by the climate crisis.
NTV Weekend Edition with Michelle Ngele Obdiambo.
Good evening and welcome to the broadcast. Flora Atieno is the sign language interpreter. We begin in Nairobi, where the public participation exercise at the Bomas of Kenya was almost scuttled after chaos erupted. Activist Morara Kebaso was violently thrown out of the auditorium amidst fracas as youth from opposing groups engaged each other. NTV's political affairs reporter Vincent Odwor begins our broadcast tonight.
Order!
Everyone has an opinion.
Order!
The Bomas of Kenya auditorium was turned into a battleground as residents of Nairobi from 17 constituencies were giving their views regarding the motion seeking to send Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua packing. But things went physical the moment activist Kebaso Morara, accompanied by his colleagues, arrived at the auditorium and wanted to immediately head to the stage to give his views, contrary to the earlier laid down procedure. His efforts to run for his dear life through the emergency door were thwarted as it was locked. However, he was later rescued. But the events of the moment did not stop participants from expressing their views.
Hatuwezi kuwa na president, deputy president mwenye anaangalia watu wake peke yake. We need somebody who cares for everybody.
Respect for the president is paramount. Our collective and unanimous decision is to ensure we have a country that functions.
Mimi nasema kama ni kuenda #fagia yote.
After the auditorium was fully packed, many other Kenyans were denied access as they took issue with the move. Even though the exercise was meant to end at 5 in the evening, it was done and dusted by midday.
Participants are now waiting to see whether their views will be considered or whether it was a mere formality. Vincent Oduor, NTV, Nairobi.
Well, Kenyans who did not take part in today's public participation on the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua will have another opportunity to submit their views on the ouster motion tomorrow. This is after the National Assembly this afternoon extended the public participation exercise on Gachagua's impeachment by one more day, following a court ruling that directed the exercise must be conducted in all 290 constituencies and not in the counties only, as it happened today. NTV's David Mudhoka reports on the first public participation on the removal of a sitting Kenyan deputy president to ever take place in the country and what Kenyans should expect tomorrow.
Kenyans will have another chance to have a say on the fate of Deputy President Geoffrey Rigathi Gachagua on Saturday. This is after the National Assembly on Friday afternoon announced that the historic public participation exercise on DP Gachagua's impeachment motion that was initially supposed to take place on Friday only will also happen on Saturday. In his announcement, National Assembly Clerk Samuel Njoroge further stated that Saturday's public participation will happen in all 290 constituencies, unlike on Friday when the exercise was conducted in just one venue in all 47 counties. Njoroge added that all 290 constituency offices and all 47 county women representative offices, which are offices under the Parliamentary Service Commission, shall remain open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday to facilitate further public participation on the special motion. The National Assembly's decision follows a ruling by a court in Kerugoya in Kirinyaga, in which the court ordered the National Assembly to conduct public hearings closer to the citizens, at least at constituency level at each constituency, to enable constituents of members of parliament responsible for the impeachment process to offer their representations. The court made the ruling while determining a petition filed by Kirinyaga woman representative Njeri Maina, who is among the members of parliament supporting Gachagua. The extension of the period for collection of views on whether Gachagua should go home or stay in office now gives Kenyans who missed today's session an opportunity to weigh in on Gachagua's political situation. Most of the members of the public who today submitted their views on whether Gachagua should stay put or be sent packing in Machakos County want Gachagua spared.
This is the time we are coming together as Kenyans. We are going to stand with Gachagua. And if Gachagua has to go home, let the whole president go home.
MPs wale mnasema ati mnatoa Gachagua. Tunaongojea ground sana. Tunaongojea sana. Hata sura yenu ingekuwekwa hapa, nyote mngeenda nyumbani. We are saying Gachagua must stay.
However, a section of leaders from the region said that Gachagua's fate had already been sealed. Even cabinet colleagues did not have kind words for the man from Madeira.
Mimi nataka kumtangaza Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. Nataka kusema ya kwamba ingekuwa ni Olympics ya ufisadi angepata gold medal. Na Rigathi Gachagua ajue ya kwamba tutamng'oa chap chap. Aenda kufanya nini?
More members of public are expected to take part in Saturday's exercise.
It is the first time since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution that an attempt to impeach a deputy president in the country has been this real. It is also the first time that Kenyans have been involved in the process, and here in Machakos, residents turned up in their numbers to make sure that their voice counts. David Mudhoka, NTV, from Machakos County.
The public participation exercise on the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua was disrupted in most parts of the country. Also, a number of residents refused to engage in the exercise, with several claiming that the forms were fake. Margaret Kimathi has more details.
Nyeri County residents stormed out of the public participation venue, protesting DP Gachagua outstar. Demonstrators barricaded major roads and ignited bonfires, effectively bringing daily activities to a standstill. The residents alleged that some leaders were offering them bribes of 500 shillings to garner support for the impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua.
Huko walikuwa wanaongea na wafuasi wao wakifanya handout, yani wakiwapea pesa kidogo kidogo ndio wakunje wa support pande yao ile ya kuangusha Rigathi Gachagua.
And the template from National Assembly is not serialized. How authentic is the whole process, the entire nation?
In the neighboring Murang'a County, chaotic scenes dominated the early morning session of public participation. It took the intervention of anti-riot police to restore order after a section of irate residents resorted to violence when a vehicle allegedly with already filled public views templates, manned by 2 men, was discovered within the Murang'a University of Technology.
Gachagua aliambia Wakenya kote nchini kwamba hii serikali yake na William Ruto ni serikali ya hisa.
Tension erupted in Eldoret City after 2 groups, one opposing Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua's impeachment motion and another in support, clashed at a public participation event. Hundreds of anti-riot police were deployed in and out of Uasin Gishu County Hall, where the public participation took place.
Hii maneno ya impeachment haijanifurahisha kabisa. Tulichakua Gachagua na Ruto watufanyie kazi.
Gachagua hawezi toka. Nataka ni one wenye wanasema Gachagua anatoka, niwaambie sorry. Mlima haiwezi guswa.
In Nakuru County, the exercise was disrupted as a number of residents refused to engage in the exercise, claiming some documents were fake. The youths later took to the streets protesting the impeachment motion to remove the deputy president from office. Low turnout was recorded in the counties of Siaya, Meru and Kisii. Residents expressed mixed reactions during the public participation for the impeachment of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Margaret Kimathi, NTV.
And away from the impeachment saga, a day after raiding Nandi County government officers over alleged massive payroll fraud, the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, EACC, has confirmed that 352 similar cases are under investigation. Officers from EACC raided the Nandi County headquarters in Kapsabet, where they seized crucial documents as part of investigations into allegations of mismanagement of public funds. EACC says the county reportedly lost more than 3 billion shillings paid to more than 1,800 workers who were hired illegally in the payroll scam. EACC is also investigating the scheme involving unlawful payments to ghost workers, as well as other payroll irregularities in various counties across the country.
The Commission has identified at least 7 ways through which county officials are looting public funds through payroll fraud. Number 1, we have ghost workers. Number 2, we have cases of double or multiple employment. And this is where individuals hold more than one job. Number 3, over-employment. This is where the county governments are employing more than they need. Political supporters, relatives and other associates who are taking the county governments as a place for them to eat. And that is the senior officials with their supporters.
Let's take a break on NTV Weekend Edition. Much more coming up after the break, including the latest on matters devolution. Do stay with us.
5 questions with Sarah. Hi guys. Wow, Sarah, your skin is glowing. What beauty soap do you use? I use a beauty soap that keeps my skin soft, moisturized, and protected from germs. But Sarah, the beauty soaps I know don't give germ protection. Dettol Skincare does. It combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Doors should not hold out opportunities. Doors are the gateways to progress, the ones that hold ideas, and those that close deals. Let's take those to places where there are none. Let's open big doors that harbor progress. In all the places that we are.
KCB ni yangu.
KCB ni yetu.
KCB is mine.
KCB ni yetu. For people, for better.
Report to the nearest health facility any child under 15 years experiencing sudden weaknesses in their hands, legs, or both with no history of injury. Polio and other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and other partners.
To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Good evening and welcome back. The Council of Governors wants the National Treasury to form a new directorate that will solely oversee matters devolution and its finances, accusing officers of prioritizing matters at the national level and only turning to deal with county matters when governors raise alarm. COG Vice Chairperson and Wajir Governor Ahmed Abdullahi says issues touching on counties have repeatedly been pushed to the periphery, asking Treasury CS John Mbadi to implement the directorate request as a flagship project in his new role.
One of the legacies you can leave as a treasury is to actually create a directorate for devolution or a directorate for dealing with county finance matters. Because financing counties is one of the biggest responsibilities that the National Treasury has. I think we deserve to have a dedicated Director General at National Treasury taking care of matters, counties.
The county government of Kiambu, in collaboration with the national government, has started the construction of a 500 million shilling county aggregation and industrial park at Warohiu Farm in Githunguri, which is anticipated to support the value addition and marketing of fruits and vegetables. Governor Kimani Wamatangi launched the facility, whose construction is already underway, saying the county has already factored 250 million shillings into its 2024-2025 budget, while the national government will contribute to the other 250 million shillings. The governor said the aggregation and industrial park, sitting on a 10-acre parcel of land, will serve as a hub for agricultural processing and manufacturing, creating a vital link between farmers, industries, and markets. In other news, BitGet, a crypto exchange company, is the latest entrant in Kenya's crypto asset space. The company says growing internet penetration and robust infrastructure makes Kenya attractive for digital finance investment. Stakeholders have lauded current efforts of drafting regulatory frameworks as well as policies as a move in the right direction in regard to facilitating safe usage of digital finance solutions amid the growing entrenchment of fintech in the country.
Blockchain for youth as well as blockchain for her. These are free initiatives which offer you this very vital crypto education. And these are free initiatives that also allow you to not just learn, but also get accreditation from that. You will be receiving a certificate to just show that you are a blockchain expert after you've completed the Blockchain for Youth program.
Plans basically is just to keep engaging and push the agenda across and helping more users learn the platform. We keep pushing a lot of user education. That is our focus, community development, and helping to partner with more of the
Try the new Dunked All-Star Box for only 8.90 Kenyan shillings. Hope you're ready for the new star of the show. KFC, it's finger-licking good while stocks last.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka. Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Report to the nearest health facility any child under 15 years experiencing sudden weaknesses in their hands, legs, or both with no history of injury. Polio and other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and other partners.
When I have back pain, I reach for 2 tablets of Panadol Extra for fast relief of strong pain, like headache, toothache, muscle pain, and I'm released from pain to be there for those who need me. Try Panadol Extra for fast and effective relief from strong pain. New Panadol Extra Soluble dissolves twice as fast versus standard paracetamol tablets.
Dettol Skincare combines the trusted protection of Dettol with 2 times moisturizers to protect my skin from germs and keeps my skin soft with a beautiful fragrance. Beautiful skin is germ-free skin.
Avieta imerahisishwa. Sasa kuna njia mpya na rahisi ya kucheza Avieta. Dial *419# kwenye simu yako na ucheze wakati wowote.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Health says that the Social Health Insurance Fund system is now fully operational, with over 12.6 million Kenyans having been registered into its portal. In a statement released by Health Principal Secretary Harry Kimtai, the government indicated that training for healthcare facilities commenced this afternoon and is expected to continue in the coming weeks. The statement further says that 232 out of the 353 renal and oncology providers had committed to delivering services under SHA, and the list was published online on Friday. Previous NHIF subscribers requiring oncology and renal services will not require pre-authorization since they have been transitioned to SHA. The government further stated that contributions of former NHIF members would be transferred to SHA as the authority integrates a system that will determine contributions for non-salaried members. Similarly, all public facilities and 1,577 public and faith-based health facilities have signed the contract with SHA. The government maintains that the National Health Information Exchange, overseen by the Digital Health Agency, will secure patient data. Now, the public participation exercise on the motion seeking to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua turned dramatic, with calls from members of public to also have his boss, President William Ruto, resign and call for snap elections. Some Kenyans vented out their frustrations with the motion, terming it as a misplaced priority in a country plagued by pressing basic needs. Kevin Mutai reports that with the voices that are now shaking the political landscape.
Chants expressing discomfort with President William Ruto were witnessed in some counties, residents slamming the motion to impeach Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. In places like Kiambu, Baringo, Makueni and even Mombasa, some residents who turned out for the public participation exercise also wanted President Ruto to be shown the door together with his deputy.
Viazi moja ikioza, yote naosa.
Kama ni kutenganisha, wote wawili waende.
If there is a mistake with Gachagua, there is a mistake with Ruto. As simple as that. If Ruto feels that Gachagua is not good, I think the best thing that they should do is to resign and call for a snap election.
They are of the opinion that they have lost hope in the Kenya Kwanza administration, bashing members of parliament for training their energies on impeaching DP Gachagua instead of focusing on matters pressing Kenyans and those of public interest, such as the Adani JKIA deal, the new university education funding model, and the transition of the healthcare scheme.
Kuna maneno kutoka kwa SHA, hatunaenda SHA, ukiactivate unaambiwa umekuwa successful lakini upati dawa.
Na NSIS tunapenda kuwaambia, kama nyinyi ni wakweli, toeni ya kila moja, kila kiongozi, hata ya rais ile ambayo mko nayo, toeni nje. Ndio Wakenya wajue.
Ruto's oster was not captured in his deputy's impeachment motion. In the National Assembly, some locals warning of dire consequences come the 2027 general election.
Na watu wa Githunguri wameandika na wamesema hawataki Rigathi Gachagua atolewe.
Where is the MPs? Because they should be listening on what the people are saying in the ground.
Hii ni shida ya kujiletea. Huu ni mwimba wa kujidunga.
We are watching you. We were watching you. Na tuambia 2027. Hakuna member wa Gema atakupigia kura.
There are those calling on the head of state to intervene and save Gachagua and then iron out their differences for the sake of the country's peace and stability.
There were concerns about legitimacy of the entire process amid allegations of bribery. Some residents accusing senior politicians of interfering with the process.
Usalama wa Digiji uko kwako wewe Daktari William Samoei Ruto. Ukitaka huu mswada uishe kabisa, unaisha sasa hivi.
Kevin Mutai, NTV in Mombasa.
Well, tonight we want to delve deeper into the legal intricacies surrounding that impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. Even as the public participation enters or takes center stage, it's a historic moment for Kenya, but what does it really mean legally? Speaking to us now is Charles Kanjama, a respected constitutional lawyer, to speak to us about the legal options for the Deputy President as well as the country at large. Kanjama, a very good evening to you and many thanks for joining us on NTV Weekend Edition. Let's begin tonight with the legal framework behind public participation in this context. Legal minds say that Kenya doesn't really have a binding public participation framework. Do the views of Kenyans in this exercise matter in the long run?
Firstly, there is no Act of Parliament on public participation. There is a bill that has been pending in Parliament for a while, but public participation is found in the Constitution of Kenya. It is one of the national values and principles of governance in Article 10 of the Constitution. In regard to Parliament, Article 118 provides that when Parliament considers any legislative proposal or is engaged in any other business, it must do some public participation. Apart from that, the courts have had occasion to discuss what is expected for public participation. And they've said that public participation should not just be a cosmetic exercise. They have made it clear that public participation must be something that is broad, it reaches the people, it must be effective, the people must be given an opportunity to give their views, and there must be evidence that the views of the people have been considered. The legislature doesn't have to accept all the views of the people, but they have to demonstrate that they've considered those views, and where they disagree with the views, they give the reason why.
Right, so that being said, because these are the orders of the Kerugoya Law Court in Kirinyaga, which also defines public participation. So the court emphasized that public participation must be real and not illusory. In your view, what criteria then should be used to ensure that public participation is genuine and considered and not just a formality?
I think one of the issues is that there must be effective engagement of the public. They must be informed about what is the issue that is under discussion. Currently, I'm a bit concerned that the public will only receive the information of the movers of the motion. They will not receive any information as to whatever response the Deputy President has on the impeachment motion. And of course, the public has to receive information from both sides. They must be given an opportunity to engage, whether orally or in writing, and their views must be consolidated and taken into account. In previous impeachment motions for governors, the approach that was taken was to do questionnaires, asking members of the public whether they support or oppose the impeachment, and that process has been accepted in the past. But what we have seen with the courts lately is that they have raised the standard for public participation. In the finance bill case of 2023, that has been decided recently by the Court of Appeal, and in other recent decisions, they have made it clear that it's not enough to just list numbers and say we got 5,000 views of Kenyans saying yes, 4,000 saying no. You must demonstrate that you've listened to the opinions and you have good reasons for agreeing or not agreeing with them.
And of course, the court there says, you know, quantitative and qualitative components of public participation must be considered as well. But let's talk about the legal options for the Deputy President who did move to court yesterday in a bid to hold his impeachment motion. What legal options are available now for the Deputy President to contest or navigate this impeachment process where it is now?
The President has two main legal options. The first is to participate fully and effectively in the parliamentary process. On Tuesday, there is an expectation that the motion to discuss his ouster or his impeachment will be discussed at the House, and he has an opportunity under the standing orders to be given up to 2 hours to present his side of the story, and he can do so personally or through his legal representatives. And under the standing orders, Parliament has to decide on the motion within 7 days, which means it will have to conclude by Tuesday. So that is a parliamentary process. And if they decide to impeach him, then there is a trial that will take place in the Senate, in which again he'll be able to participate fully and even produce witnesses, cross-examine the witnesses produced by the impeachment managers. So that's the first legal option, to participate fully in the process and defend himself to the extent allowed and foreseen in the Constitution and the parliamentary standing orders. The second option is to continue with the court cases. He already has one court case. Some of his supporters or sympathizers have also filed court cases, and they can challenge various aspects of the parliamentary process, public participation, fair administrative action, whether there has been fairness in the process so far. They can challenge the process before the debate on Tuesday. They can challenge it after the debate on Tuesday, before it goes to the Senate, after the decision of the Senate. At any stage, even after the decision of the Senate, they can try to stay the order. We saw recently that the governor of Meru County, Kawira Mwangaza, after she was impeached, had an impeachment trial in the Senate and was removed by the Senate. She obtained court orders staying the removal pending the determination of her constitutional petition. So those are the options before the Deputy President.
There are many who felt that the public participation exercise, as has happened, was rather rushed. Now, given the High Court's order to extend public participation, are there any legal loopholes that could render the impeachment process ineffective or hinder the impeachment process altogether, considering how it's already begun?
The courts have said before that the process of impeachment in the assembly, whether it is a county assembly or the National Assembly, must comply with Article 47 of the Constitution, which requires fair administrative action. And these are the general rules of natural justice. For example, that you have to give someone sufficient notice to give their position on the matter. Someone should not be a judge in their own cause. There are a number of criteria that will be used to determine whether there is fair administrative action. I'll give an analogy. If an employer wants to terminate an employee on disciplinary basis, they call them into a disciplinary hearing. Before then, they give them a notice about the evidence against them, the complaint against them. They give them an opportunity to come and be heard. They're meant to consider the issues raised by the employee in a non-biased manner and then make a decision. And the decision should have good reasons. So all those criteria will be used to assess the process that is currently going on in the National Assembly. Of course, one of the questions is adequacy of the notice period. The initial public participation, there was a notice that was given on Tuesday for public participation that happened on Friday, that is today. It was a 3-day notice. The court has given an order that the public participation should go to the 290 constituencies. The notice that has been given has been less than a day. That will definitely be one of the issues that one would expect the team of the Deputy President would raise as to whether that additional public participation had sufficient notice. They have also, in their case in court, I'm aware, raised a concern that the public participation is happening and they don't have an opportunity themselves to have their response to the motion shared with the people of Kenya when they are doing the public participation. Those are some of the issues that will be determined by the court, I assume, in the court cases that have been filed.
All right. And so this impeachment motion will go down in Kenya's history. Given the drama surrounding public participation today, what do you make of the school of thought that says that the DP and the president were elected on one ticket? And so if you impeach one, you must impeach the other. What does the law say about that?
I think that issue that I've heard being called Kufa Dereva Kufa Makanga, that is a political slogan, and the people of Kenya are entitled to have political views or perspective of the matter. The Constitution recognizes that one can impeach either the president or the deputy president separately. They don't have to be impeached together. Culpability of legal nature, whether it is constitutional or legal, is normally individual or personal. But the courts have also said that an impeachment process includes a political element of accountability. And in terms of political accountability, there are some people of Kenya who believe that the political accountability should be joined. I think that is really an issue for opinion for Kenyans who hold that position or those who hold the alternative position. As far as the current constitutional process is concerned, there is an impeachment motion against the deputy. None has been filed so far against the president. And if any was to be filed, it would require, first of all, 1/3 of all MPs of the National Assembly to support such a motion.
So let's talk about timelines, Kanjama, and the next steps. What are the timelines associated with the impeachment process following the tabling of that motion against the DP, and when is it expected to conclude?
Under the standing orders in the National Assembly, a motion for impeachment of the president or a deputy president must be resolved within 7 days from the date when the motion is formally moved. And the motion has to be formally moved within 3 days of being presented to the Speaker. So the motion was formally moved on Tuesday this week. It has to be resolved by Tuesday next week. Otherwise, according to the standing orders, the motion stands defeated. So if the movers of the motion are not able to successfully conclude the motion with a 2/3 vote by Tuesday midnight, this coming Tuesday, the motion is defeated. If the motion succeeds in the National Assembly, it has to be forwarded to the Senate within a further 2 days, and the Senate can set up a committee which will be given about 10 days to review the motion, to receive feedback from both parties, to hear witnesses of both the movers of the motion, who will be the impeachment managers from the National Assembly, and also of Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua. And in the Senate, they can decide to have a special committee of 11 people. They can use a committee of the whole House. Once the committee does a kind of like mini trial, because the committee in the Senate does a trial, if the committee recommends the removal of the Deputy President, then the Senate will have to vote for it. So the Senate will have about 2 weeks to engage in their business, 2 weeks to 2.5 weeks. And if they choose to remove the president, then, if they choose to remove the deputy president, then the president of the Republic of Kenya will have a further 14 days to nominate a new person to serve as deputy president. And once the president nominates a new deputy, then the Senate or the Parliament will have to vote on this within 60 days.
All right. There's a lot of political intrigues around this, considering that the deputy president and the president are a duo that made several promises to each other, including the promise by President Ruto to protect his DP, so to speak. But since this is the first impeachment or impeachment motion against a deputy president in Kenya, what precedent does it set for future governance as well as legal actions?
Kenyans, when they were in the process of coming up with the new constitution, reflected on the approach of mistreatment of vice presidents under the old regime. And they felt that, especially remembering how in 1988, after the general election, the president at the time, Daniel Moi, remained without a vice president for several months, almost a year. They did not want to have that situation. They felt that the office of the principal assistant of the president was very important for constitutional or other reasons. And therefore, they created a very strong constitutional connection between those two offices in the Constitution of 2010. And so even if the current deputy president is impeached, that constitutional connection will remain until such a time as the Constitution is altered by amendment in that area. That would mean that the president would have to be having a good working relationship with the deputy and vice versa. And this is not a situation that is unique to Kenya. There are other countries in Africa and outside Africa where the constitution also provides a connection. And we have seen instances in other countries where there is a fallout between the president and the deputy. And what happens when this situation occurs is that the deputy becomes a deputy without portfolio. They start engaging in politics because they are not involved actively in cabinet matters. The president stops delegating work to them. This happens to our current president when he was a deputy. This happens in other countries as well. It has happened in Africa and outside Africa. So that situation will continue for as long as the two are tied at the hip.
All right. And as the situation evolves, Kanjama, what are your predictions for the outcome of the impeachment process based on current legal frameworks, as well as the public reaction that we've already seen today? Very varied reactions.
I am not able to predict how the court will decide the matter, because the courts on different occasions, when faced with impeachments of governors, in some cases they have agreed with the governor who's aggrieved. This happened in the case of Martin Wambora, the former governor of Embu County. Currently, Kawira Mwangaza as well is benefiting from court orders. And in some cases, they have agreed with Parliament, like happened in the case of Mike Mbuvi Sonko, the former governor of Nairobi County. So it's not easy to predict how the High Court will decide on the matter. And also regarding Parliament, it's not completely clear although there are indicators from Parliament that if you already have more than 2/3, a supermajority, supporting the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, even before he presents his case against the impeachment, it seems likely that even if some of the MPs may peel off from the signatures and the support for the impeachment, there is such a large buffer of about 50 MPs that there may still be sufficient number for his impeachment. And it seems that the sentiment in the ground is likely to shift several MPs. What is not clear is whether it will shift a sufficient enough number for Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua to survive.
All right, Kanjama, and finally and very briefly, the courts have played an instrumental role in this process so far. What role does the judiciary play now once public participation, as extended, as ordered by the court, is complete?
What has been stated before, both in the High Court and the Court of Appeal, is that the intervention of the court is not purely to look at procedural questions, but the court is also meant to test the constitutional questions, which are substantive or merit-based questions. The court is not meant to operate like an appellate court or to be an appeal on what is decided by the National Assembly or the County Assembly. The constitutional process is that it is Parliament to decide on impeachment, but in the process of Parliament doing it, the National Assembly and the Senate, each doing its different roles, the court looks not just at the procedure. So it will not just be looking at whether the procedure of public participation was fair. The court will also be testing constitutionality. They will be checking, for example, are those grounds that are stated, do they meet the bar? Was the whole structure of public participation and of the proceedings in the National Assembly and in the Senate, if they get there, did they reach the constitutional values, national values and principles of governance? Was there accountability? Was there transparency? And all those other national values and principles of governance that apply, tenets of good governance, integrity, were they taken into account by the actors in this process? Was the right to be heard? Was the legal representation that was given effective? So all those issues will be considered by the court, but the court will not be acting as if it is an appellate court hearing an appeal from the decision of the National Assembly or the decision of the Senate.
Kanjama, many thanks for your time this evening. That is constitutional lawyer Charles Kanjama breaking down the legal implications of that historic impeachment motion against Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, a developing story that we continue to keep an eye on here at NTV. We take a break on the broadcast. Do stay with us. Much more still to come.
Ataenda kucheza nje na hii baridi yote. Why did you let him go? Si atagonjeka. Sasa asipofanya tizi, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from germs that cause illness when it's cold, we use Dettol soap.
Dettol soap with germ defense gives you protection. When it's cold, germs are transferred in different ways, and Dettol soap's germ defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Pata the master flare kwenye star 570 hash option ya 4 na ushindi wako tunautangaza the 6th of October. Tucheze, tusaidie, tushinde!
My club! It's day 2 of My Club Festival Nakafu! With exclusive offers, massive discounts, irresistible prizes, big savings, bigger rewards! It's more than loyalty. It's crazy offers every day. Nakafu!
Kenya ni nchi ya mabingwa. Na
hapa hakuna shortcut.
Kuwa bingwa ni kujitolea, kujituma.
Mabingwa hutambua mabingwa wenzao.
Mabingwa hurauka kabla ya jua kuchomoka. Wengine huwa mabingwa wa familia. Mabingwa huhakikisha tuna shine kama mabingwa. Wao hutulisha vyema. Ma-influencer wa kutuconnect mtandaoni. Mabingwa, wale ambao hutuongoza.
Sisi wote ni mabingwa.
Kijana hapo mbele, mzee hapo nyuma. Jamaa na jembe. Boda alimleta jamaa na jembe, msichana wa kibao. Memba wa bodi, msichana wa maziwa.
Sisi wote ni Team Kenya.
Makofi to both baby and the new Morphix diapers. With its cottony soft texture and 3 times faster absorbent channels, the new Morphix diapers help to prevent rash. Morphix, comfy like a mom's hug.
You have all heard the word Betika, but do you know what Betika really means? To Betika is to climb to the top of the world. To Betika is to get promoted to the next level and to win again and again and again. To Betika is to test the limits of speed and to swing hard at every opportunity. To Betika is to do the impossible. It is possible with Betika.
Welcome to Betika, the home of champions.
New Downy refill pouches, lasting longer than expensive perfumes. Cut, store, and no need to add water. Serve with a Downy refill.
Sababu kuu ya Loto Moto ni jamii mzima iimarike. Na unapo dial *570#, kando na ushindi wako ni usaidizi wa hali ya juu kwa elimu, chakula, biashara, afya na ujenzi kwa wasiojiweza.
Umeguza roho za watu. Muendelee kuwa na huo moyo wa kusaidia wasiojiweza.
Hapa tunacheza, tusaidie na tushinde.
Welcome back. As the countdown to COP29 continues, with just 40 days to go, the role of youth in driving climate action has never been more crucial. Young people are increasingly being called upon to lead the charge in climate mitigation, bringing fresh energy and innovative ideas to the table. In keeping with their enthusiasm and commitment, many young leaders are advocating for greater opportunities and improved financing for their climate projects.
A climate clock is a digital clock that shows us how much time is left for us to realize the SDG goals, especially number 13.
8-year-old Aidan Kahiga and his friends amplify a message that is quite timely, reminding us that we do not have enough time left to act.
Pollution, pollution, pollution everywhere!
These young voices are just a glimpse of the amplified voice of the youth, not only in Kenya, but in Africa, who want to be counted in the climate change conversations, not just in boardrooms, but also among communities affected by climate change.
We plant trees, we water them, we empower people to pick up litter, we pick up litter. And we also reuse bottles, plastics, and we also recycle them.
I was inspired as a primary teacher that what if, it was an hypothetical statement, what if I invested in the youngest of our generations to make them know that you do not do this ecological cleansing and ecological conversion for this purpose of maybe salary.
In as much as Aiden and his friends are privileged to be taught about the impact of climate change, stakeholders still argue that more needs to be done to educate the youth and ensure their skill set is up to par.
Nowhere were we ever taught how to do green buildings, because climate change, again, you have to look at the emissions that are coming from the construction sector. We were not taught about how to mitigate that. Guys doing electrical engineering are never taught how to make electric vehicles. If you're doing a course on economics, BCom, and so on, you're never taught about climate financing, which, in my opinion, those are the green jobs that we need for the future. And the problem is you get graduates coming out of school and their skills do not and will not match up to the jobs of the future unless they themselves go out of their way to learn something else.
With the crop up of climate-led youth organizations, there is need for policy reforms to combat some of these challenges on the ground.
That we're just there to tick the box of inclusion that youths contributed. I also feel like, from my own experience as a youth leader trying to engage with governments with zero visibility, it's really hard for them to buy in our ideas and our projects. As we all know, youths are very, very innovative and we are very passionate.
Helen Aura, NTV.
Political goodwill among country leaders has been termed as a key element in fostering climate financing and mitigation. Speaking during the second edition of the Nation Media Group's Earthwise Summit 2024, NMG's editor-in-chief Joe Aguayo delivered the Earthwise Summit Declaration, challenging African countries to be on the forefront of climate justice and ensure they have early warning systems. Take a look.
Climate change is a matter of survival, and it requires the highest levels of commitment from political leaders to push through workable solutions. These solutions, however, must be supported by strong legal frameworks and instruments that protect the most vulnerable among us, capturing and addressing the unique challenges they face. Solidarity across African countries and regional blocs is another key takeaway that cannot be overlooked. As Africa, we share many common concerns and opportunities, and to effectively represent ourselves in the international climate forums, our voice must be united, strong, and unwavering. Together, we can push for the collective good of the continent. At the same time, we cannot underestimate the importance of building institutional capacity within our businesses, organizations, and even government bodies. We have heard a strong call to utilize international legal mechanisms to seek justice for those unjustly impacted by the climate crisis.
Well, we really do not have another world, so it's important to take care of our environment. And that brings us to a close on NTV Weekend Edition. Many, many thanks for watching. Flora Atieno is the sign language interpreter. On behalf of the entire team here at NTV, many thanks for watching. My name is Michelle Ngele Odhiambo. Good evening.
This is NTV.
Every step you take echoes the heartbeat of change, and every mile run is a promise fulfilled. The Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon is more than just a race. It's a testament to hope, resilience, and transformative power. The 21st edition of the Standard Chartered Nairobi Marathon is here, and you need to be a part of this uplifting journey. Your participation directly supports the Future Makers program, an initiative dedicated to empowering young people, especially girls and people living with disabilities, to learn, earn, and grow. By running, you're not only challenging yourself, but also investing in their dreams and futures. Join us at the Uhuru Gardens on Sunday, October 27th for a day that blends excitement, unity and purpose. Register today for just 2,000 shillings at www.nairobimarathon.com and take your place in this pivotal event.
report to the nearest health facility any child under 15 years experiencing sudden weaknesses in their hands, legs, or both with no history of injury. Polio and other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and other partners.
You know you're flying with the world's best. Crowned by Skytrax 15 years in a row. Yep, we've taken over 500 million of you to places. Our crew, they train like champions. Global safety standards, we nailed them. 23 years and counting, all thanks to our dedicated All-Stars and you. This week on Churchill Show.
Mtu ana aibu. Ako bunge hajawahi changia kitu lakini ako bunge. Hajali ni shida yako.
Padana na paunza anatembea hivi kumbe ni Fabili Pladi.
Ukienda kwa gym 90% it's women. Cause piga
Polisi wa Kenya na kizungu ni kama president na ukweli.
Did I ever say how I feel about you?
Report to the nearest health facility any child under 15 years experiencing sudden weaknesses in their hands, legs, or both with no history of injury. Polio and other vaccines have been tested and are safe and effective. Vaccinate and protect your child now. This message has been brought to you by Ministry of Health, UNICEF, and other partners.
Every journey has its milestones, and each step you take reflects your confidence, resilience, and unwavering focus. And amidst the chaos, you've carved out your own path, defying the odds and inspiring those around you. You've overcome challenges and made your mark. Your story is a testament to innovation, leadership, and impact. It deserves recognition. Nominate yourself or someone who embodies greatness for the Business Daily Top 40 Under 40 Men 2024 title today. Visit top40.bdafrica.com to submit your nomination. Want to know the biggest story of the week? Do not worry. Politics, business, governance, as well as social issues, the Weekly Review covers it all. For well-researched, exclusive and investigative content, read the Weekly Review every Sunday in the Sunday Nation.
Ugonjwa wa kupooza au polio unalemaza, waweza pia kuua na hauna tiba. Lakini kwa chanjo, polio inaweza kutokomezwa. Ugonjwa huu umethibitishwa kuzuka upya katika kaunti za Nairobi na Turkana pamoja na nchi jirani. Kutokana na idadi ndogo ya watoto waliopokea chanjo katika kaunti zinginezo, watoto wote kote nchini wamo hatarini ya kuambukizwa polio. Kuanzia Jumatano tarehe 2 hadi Jumapili tarehe 6 Oktoba 2024, Wizara ya Afya, serikali ya kaunti kwa msaada kutoka kwa washirika watafanya kampeni ya chanjo.